everybody, this is Tyler Reddick here, and you're watching another episode of Reddick Reels 'Em In. We are here in beautiful Lake Homestead. Let's go see what we can reel in. Look at the size of this big bite. Hey Boyer, I found your buddy's jersey. Look at this. But this lake has got me puzzled. Did someone lose a piece of their bumper out here? No way. Never know what you're gonna find in Florida. Florida man finds Lombardi Trophy in Lake Homestead.
From the sun and fun capital of the world, Miami Beach.
I've been a newsman in this community for 35 years and seen the area go through a great deal of change. In the 50s, Miami Beach was more than just a city. It was America's playground. The place to be for the young, the well-heeled, and the in-crowd.
This is not a place as much as a moment which ceases to end, where the good times melt into the better ones. Welcome to Vice City, Miami. The Trey, Dade County, South Florida. The names and locations are irrelevant. The aesthetic and racing, unpredictable. It's an idea. It's a grind. But most of all, it's a vibe. And the only people that aren't welcome are the ones who don't know how to have a good time. Homestead, Miami is next on Fox.
And we welcome you live to South Florida. The weather terrific. Homestead Miami Speedway, once the final race of the season when they would crown the Cup champion, and now it's a race that may set the bar for a person making a championship run. Denny Hamlin going to the rear of the field was supposed to start on the pole. We'll have that developing story in just a moment. He's won here 3 times, and Kevin Harvick led the most laps of any driver on mile-and-a-half tracks, and it's the first mile-and-a-half race that we'll see of the 9 through the course of this season. We welcome you to race day presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, and we're at the start of the grid. It's a little bit breezy, but a nice day to go racing. The Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon, he's been entertaining on the track. Clint Boyer, and we saw Tyler Reddick, who.
This is funny, huh?
That's funny.
This is not funny.
I love it.
The Chiefs fan who's disappointed that he has to wear the. But you saw him fishing. I think he dug that out for you.
A bet's a bet, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wearing it, Eric. Brady, he beat us. Fair and square,
he beats
beat us.
everybody.
Hey, clearly Brady didn't throw it perfectly every time to the boat behind him.
No, I agree.
Well, it was fun when him and Gronkowski tossed it on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, he's won so many of them, it's just no big deal anymore. Brady just throws them. I mean,
whoa. I think people might wonder, they work hard for that trophy. We'll see who works hard in today's race. I don't know what we're going to do with him. Call security, maybe? Hey, Tyler Reddick, by the way, the chatter about first-time winners to start in the first 2 races of the season. He could be a guy finished 4th year before, right, in the Xfinity. He's run well here. What are his chances today?
Well, other than him starting towards the rear, way in the back, this is the guy. If we're going to look at anybody in the field that can get another first-time win and make it 3 in a row, which that's got to make history, it would be Tyler Reddick. He's so good at the top here, just running it an inch off that wall and just putting that bubble of air between himself, the right side of that car, and the wall without jumping over what we call the cushion. So I'm looking for big things out of Tyler today.
I like it. I agree with you 100%, Jeff. Got 2 first-time winners already this season. He needs to add that name to the list, but he's got a long ways to go, like you said. But this racetrack, it's a track that you can get the job done. Multi-grooves all over this place.
We've seen Harvick and Hamlin. This is where, with 9 mile-and-a-half tracks through the course of the season, if you run well here, it's a good gauge. You're going to be in the championship picture. So give me some of the names we should count on today, seeing up front or possibly winning.
Well, you always got to go with those big names, and there's a reason why they're champions or running at the front, winning so many races. They just know how to get together with their team and execute a race flawlessly from start to finish, on pit road, out on the track, knowing which lane to pick, how to keep the right side of that car nice and clean and not take yourself out of the race. That's what the veterans do so well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you're going to go to Kevin Harvick. The front row, look at the front row, the second row. Those 4 cars, that win just might come from one of those 2 rows.
Yeah, and Hamlin to the rear, so not only Reddick working his way up through the field, we'll be watching that. And Hamlin certainly one of the favorites. Like some old friends from Channel 4 hanging around in Miami talking about the good old days. We're talking about these days currently, including, I would say a sore loser on the side of the Chiefs in the Super Bowl when he's in Florida, when he's in Brady country. That's how it goes. We're live at Homestead, Miami. You're watching Race Day on Fox. Who knows what's ahead? Well, I'll give you a hint. Here's what's ahead.
Just around the turn, we'll stop by the studio to see who'll hit the gas or pump the brakes in Miami. Then America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, gets us revved up for today's race.
Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engine!
And Regan Smith helps Christopher Bell finally get the burnout celebration he deserves after his first NASCAR Cup Series win. And then we'll put it out with Jeff and Clint. We're getting you ready to race on Fox.
Welcome back to Race Day as we get you ready for week 3 of the NASCAR season. And this is usually the time of the year where we crisscross the country, going from the East Coast to Charlotte all the way to the West Coast. We used to call it the West Coast swing. NASCAR goes west. This year, however, a little bit different. We're still crisscrossing, but really just up and down I-95. Charlotte to Daytona, Daytona to Charlotte, Charlotte back to Daytona, Charlotte, Miami, oh my goodness, back and forth to the state of Florida. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our virtual studio here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm Shannon Spake, along with America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, and Daytona 500 winner, Jamie McMurray. All right, so hang tight. This is your gratuitous Miami Vice mention, because, of course, we're down in Miami this week getting ready for racing. Let's use that word, however. Let's use the word vice instead of headline. So what is your vice this weekend?
Well, Shannon, we are in week number 3. And I'm going to say it's going to be a return to normal. The first 2 races at Daytona on the road course and the super speedway, kind of unique tracks. Here we are at the 1.5 mile, Homestead, Miami, somewhat normal. And we also had 2 first-time winners that were a surprise. I think when today's race is over, it's not a first-time winner and it's not a surprise.
Now, what's your vice?
It is Denny Hamlin keeps rolling along in the state of Florida. The last 6 races in the state of Florida, he has 2 wins, 6 top 5s. Now he has started this season with 2 top 5s, the only driver to do that, and he has never started a season with 3 top 5s. He's got his work cut out for him. You heard Chris Myers say starting at the rear, but I think he can get there.
That's not good, starting all the way in the back. All right, my Homestead vice is this. Can Christopher Bell leading the way, being the top dog at Joe Gibbs Racing? Of course, he's earned that victory. He's got Hall of Fame, future Hall of Famers all around him as teammates, but I think that the young Christopher Bell is going to show that he is the top dog when we leave Homestead this weekend. First-time winner in Christopher Bell, not the only one this season, however. We've had first-time winners 2 times to start the season. Michael McDowell, of course, winning the Daytona 500, and then, as mentioned, Christopher Bell, the Daytona road course. So that leads us into a little game we like to call Hit the Gas, Pump the Brakes, powered by Ram. So we will start with you, Mr. Jamie. Hit the gas or pump the brakes. We will have 2 more first-time winners this season.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit the gas on this, and I say that because we have a dirt race coming up where you get a first-time winner. We also have 3 super speedway races, and we have 6 road courses. So a lot of tracks, a lot of opportunities. I think that Tyler Reddick, Matt DiBenedetto, Bubba Wallace, I think there's Chase Briscoe, a lot of guys.
Yeah, I'm going to say pump the brakes, and not because the drivers he named can't find victory lane. I just question, are their teams, the teams they drive for, are they in a position to get to victory lane?
I didn't hear the gas on your one, but I'm glad we got it going. All right.
Brakes.
So the brakes. The second one, I didn't hear the brakes either. The second one, Christopher Bell gets 3 or more race wins this season, Larry. Obviously,
3 or more, including the one
correct.
last.
He already has 1.
You know, I'm going to say pump the brakes, and the only reason I'm going to say pump the brakes, I know he's going to do hit the gas. That's it. That's the only reason I'm doing it.
Yeah, they're going back and forth.
Well, obviously, I'm going to hit the gas and not be negative Nancy as Larry is over here. When you look at Christopher Bell's start to the season in the Daytona 500, he ran really well. Obviously, he won last week, and I think he's going to shine when we get to the 1.5 miles.
Okay, here's the final one for you guys. Bubba Wallace gets his first top 10 of the season for 23XI Racing this weekend. Jamie, what are you saying?
Hit the gas. I think that it's been two tough weekends for Bubba Wallace. He's going to be in the best car he's ever been at this type track. I think he can get that done today.
Yeah, I know it's not a short track, but I'm wearing that brake pedal out. I'm going to go pump the brakes. His best finish ever at this mile-and-a-half track was 13th last year. My question, is the team ready to finish in the top 10?
Well, we'll see at the end of the day today, certainly, as we continue to get you ready for racing down in Miami. Coming up, Larry McReynolds meets Al Pacino. All right, not exactly, but it is an Oscar-worthy performance by America's crew chief, and it is next on Race Day.
20 minutes to the biggest battle of their professional lives. You can win at Miami 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, wow, really? That guy won? You know, when you get old in life, you find out that life is a game of inches. So is racing. But in this sport, we fight for that inch because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the damn difference between winning and between losing. Now, what are you going to do?
Who's he talking to?
It's so funny.
It's the story of my life.
It is so
Every
funny.
day.
Welcome back to Race Day on Fox, presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is going to be hard to get through. Let's take a look at the Coca-Cola family of drivers. Why don't we? Of course, we're in Miami, and this is where they're starting. We've already told you that the Denny Hamlin's starting first. He ain't going to the back of the field, which means Joey Logano on the front row will move over. Starting at 21st, Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, and Ryan Newman. You can see them on the list as well. I think that listen, both of you guys deserve an Emmy or an Oscar.
I've learned that Larry could be an actor.
He's so good.
Literally.
He's so good. How about, are you good at this? It's our heat check time because it's warmer in Miami than it is in most places in the country. So I'm going to mention a driver's name. Larry and Jamie are going to tell us if they're heating up, cooling down, or on the hot seat. So Larry, you're up first with Kevin Harvick.
Hot by inches. Yeah, been quiet, but my gosh, he has started this season with 4th in the Daytona 500, 6th at the road course. I will say this, he has not won in 10 races, all the way back to Bristol in the playoffs last year.
Happy anniversary to Delana and Kevin, by the way, 20 years today. Jamie, you're up next. Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, well, Matt DiBenedetto's on fire, hot, but not the kind of hot that you want to be. It's been a struggle this year so far. Only 5 points in 2 races. Nothing really that Matt has done wrong on the track, just circumstantial. But he has to get this better because he doesn't have a job next year right now. Austin Cindric's going to be in this car, so it's important that they get their season turned around right now.
All right, Larry, up next is Martin Truex Jr. What do you got for him?
I debated on this, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a warm. They have run well. They just don't have the finishes to reflect it. Best finish, 12th at the road course. Hard to believe since the start of 2020, only 1 win for that 19 car at Martinsville.
Yeah, all right. Well, Jamie, you got William Byron obviously working with the new crew chief this season. What do you have for William?
Yeah, William Byron is ice cold, Shannon. It's been a little bit of a struggle. You think back, they qualified 2nd for the Daytona 500, got caught up in a wreck in their 150, then got caught up in that wreck on lap 15 of the Daytona 500. Last week, he actually wasn't that bad. Missed a chicane at the very end of that race, had to stop and go. So tough start to the season.
What do you think? The next guy for both of you guys is Bubba Wallace. What do we think about Bubba?
I know it's only their 3rd race together, 23-11 racing, but until they show me more than a 17th place finish in the Daytona 500, I'm going to go cold.
Yeah, didn't expect anything. I'm going warm. I didn't expect a lot from Bubba Wallace last week at the road course, but he ran great at Daytona, really well. And I think he's going to be in the best car he's ever been in today, mile and a half, get it done.
Cold, warm, and fuego, right? We're heating things up down in
Big words for us, Shannon.
Fuego, big words. Let's head back out to the racetrack. Say hello to Chris, Jeff, and Clint. Clint, I hope you cleaned up the Lombardi Trophy from pit road. You might have some crews that are mad at you.
Yeah, Shannon, they had a pit crew helping out, and he's back in his suit, out of his fire suit in this suit, and no jersey. Good to be back with the guys on the grid. And you know, here at Miami, Homestead Miami Speedway, there has never been a first-time Cup winner. That's been the chatter all week. Christopher Bell, he took care of that last week, and our Regan Smith sat down with the guy, first driver from Oklahoma to win a Cup race, Boomer Sooner.
So we just made the laps there. You had the opportunity to celebrate. I'd rub it in just a little bit.
Mine hauled.
We took off and he was just going. I'm like, this is all I got. Maybe it's telling me I'm too fat. I don't know what it's trying to tell me right now. Go-kart, stock car, you know, it's all the same stuff.
Question is, where will Christopher Bell pull the trigger? And the answer is anywhere he can. Checkered flag is waving. Christopher Bell scores his first career win.
Hell yeah, bud. First of many. Oh, my God.
You didn't really get to do a full-fledged burnout on Sunday on your first win there.
No burnouts, I hate to tell you. We got to save that motor.
My first win, no burnout, Jeff? Oh.
I took it easy on you so you could have that opportunity.
I guess that makes up for it a little bit.
What's the goals for this team now? Have they reset a little bit because you got that win so quick?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changing our outlook on the season. You know, we may be able to be a little bit more aggressive on fuel strategy or tire strategy to try and get wins.
It's got to be the first of many because we're not even to the ovals yet, which is where everybody thought you were going to win first.
Yeah, I mean, I love oval track racing. We're going to Homestead. That was one of my better races last year, so I just, looking at the schedule, I don't really know of a weak link that's like, okay, we could struggle here. You know, I think we have an opportunity at pretty much everywhere we go.
I can't disagree with that based on what I saw.
Driver happy to be where he is, said he learned a lot, the learning curve from last year. And by the way, last year, Christopher Bell finished 8th in this race, so we'll see how he does if he can go back-to-back. But again, the developing story, Denny Hamlin, one of the favorites, moving to the rear of the field for what, an adjustment issue that failed inspection?
Yeah, we're hearing an unimproved adjustment after they went through inspection and came out here on pit road. So going to the rear, you know, you wonder how much is this going to affect Denny Hamlin. He still has the #1 pit stall. He's got a great pit crew. He's so patient. He's experienced. He's won this race. It's going to be a big challenge. You lost that track position. Going to be hard to get it back, but he can. This is a track you can pass on, especially with that race team.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's ever a racetrack that I'd have to go to the back and can make it up there, it's this racetrack at Homestead. This place is multi-groove, bottom, middle, top. They'll be all over the place. Restarts, Chris. You wait till you see a restart here.
But Kyle Larson runs the top, right? He's
my dirt boys. My dirt boys. Keep an eye on the dirt guys. High, wide, and handsome. They're going to be up on the fence. Larson, Reddick, Christopher Bell, last week's winner. All them boys, keep an eye on them.
Who's high, who's wide, who's handsome? We'll figure that out. All right, time for Put It Out. Caution waves. These are things, well, you know, it's an industry term. You just kind of want to cut it out, right? And you can always send yours in to hashtag Put It Out to Fox, or we'll mail it to Clint's address. You love talking with us about this, sir.
Speaking of the caution, why don't you go first, Myers? Come on, put it out, baby.
I'm absolutely honored here. Okay, this was about a year and a half ago in New Smyrna here in Florida, a little bit up the coast. Pro late models. Look at this wreck going into the backstretch, but watch this garbage can fly, and a guy just sitting there enjoying the race, bam, into his truck, and look at the damage that was done, and everybody was safe, but as the kids, put it out, as the kids say, that was trash.
Put out the trash. Oh, well.
Put it out. Yeah.
I love these put it outs, man. How about this one? Look at this launch, South Georgia Motorsports Park. Whoa, that's a little too much rear grip. Thought he was going over, went over in the lane, and actually saved this. Look at that car, all 4 tires off the ground, flying through the air. Put it out.
Give him a new set of drawers, what he needs. Wow. I tell you what, this one right here, this one, check this out, boys. Modified race in Ransomville, New York, Ransomville Speedway. Everybody follows my man down into turn 1. Do not follow that guy. The whole field's in a pile up, flipping, crashing out of the park. Look at that. The whole field literally put it out. There's the caution.
Always worth watching. All right, you guys heading up to the booth to call the race with Mike Joy, all 400.5 miles. No rental cars this week. All right, stay out of trouble. Just call the race from the booth. Have fun. Thanks for being with us.
I had a little bit of trouble getting a rental. They wouldn't give me one this week. I don't know about you.
They disallowed that. All right, we'll be here from the grid where the action is to bring you closer to the action and the start of the Dixie Vodka 400. You're watching Race Day on Fox, our pre-race show live from Homestead, Miami. Stay with us. I know you will.
With the free-to-play Fox Bet Super 6 app, fans have won millions playing Win Terry's money on football. Now Clint's giving away his money on NASCAR.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's in my contract? Win my money?
Yep. Now I get to celebrate. Can you help me open this?
Come on, seriously?
Seriously.
Download the free Fox Bet Super 6 app and pick 6 race outcomes for a chance to win my money.
Live from Homestead Miami Speedway, you can see the weather in the 80s, a little breezy. There is some cloud cover, but warm, very little threat of rain, and that's always good news for the third race of the season, NASCAR on Fox Trackside.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as Pastor Rob Pacienza from Coral Ridge Presbyterian in Fort Lauderdale offers today's invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the privilege of being back at the beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. We lift up the drivers as they race around this epic track. We pray for their families and their teams. Thank you for allowing us to live in this amazing country and even for the freedom to pray this prayer. But most of all, thank you for sending your son Jesus, who by his grace alone forgives our sins and freely offers life to the full, both now and forever. We pray this in the strong name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
And now to perform our national anthem is two-time Tony Award nominee from Netflix The Crew, actress and singer Sarah Stiles.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Cool-looking flyover. Austin Dillon among those trying to get into victory lane. Just over 400 miles. Fox NASCAR live from South Florida, getting closer to the start of the race.
Daytona was a dream for the young and old checkered flag first-timers.
Christopher Bell is a winner in the NASCAR Cup Series.
I'm so proud of you, Christopher Bell. Holy smoke. Thank you, guys.
And now the fun in the sun continues in Miami.
Birds are chirping, and the sun's gonna shine. Let's make it brighter while we got time.
It's true, the superstars of the sport haven't had things go their way so far.
Destroyed.
3 wide, Kyle Busch goes around.
Why do we suck so bad at plate racing?
But now, the normalcy of a mile and a half has these familiar faces looking to make it happen in Homestead.
It's been a season of surprise winners so far. Only the third race, but waiting for the cream to rise to the top, at least the top drivers, those focusing. And you're hoping certain guys like a Ryan Blaney can get closer to victory lane. And that means if you want to win a little cash, a little bit of clinch money, given some of the upsets we've seen so far, you going out on a limb today, you're going with one of the favorites. Enter Clint's Fox Bet Super 6 Stage 2 contest. You have a chance to win $10,000 of Clint Boyer's money. He won't throw it around like that trophy, I'll tell you. Just download the app and answer 6 questions about Stage 2 for your shot to win. It's free to play, and we don't want you to miss out. So play now while there's still time left, and we wish you a lot of luck. Race number 3. No better place to be. The Sunshine State. Oh, the humanity. A 3-week Florida road trip in February. an annual rite of passage for snowbirds, but NASCAR hasn't done it since 1954. Our first stop was, well, you know, the world's center of speed. The great American race never disappoints. For just the third time in history, a driver got his first career cup win in the sport's biggest race. It'll buy you a lot of t-shirts and bumper stickers. No need to pull out the road atlas for race number 2. The track's so nice, we raced there twice. But this time we added a few wrinkles. The Daytona Road Course. Bus stops, chicanes, horseshoes had drivers pleading, "Are we there yet?" But it was another first-time winner who enjoyed the ride. So now we're about 290 miles and a couple of blue plate specials down I-95 at Miami Homestead Speedway. And after 3 in Florida, we will head west next on Fox. There's Kyle Busch, former champ of the sport. You know, this season, what's missing here? We thought he'd come out with a vengeance where he only won 1 race. Last year, he finished 14th and 35th in the first 2 races. And I mentioned Ryan Blaney. He finished 30th and 15th in the first 2. He really needs to pick it up today. Let's pick up the command.
Race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Miami Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa.
Aloha, race fans, and welcome to the Dixie Vodka 400. I'm the Miami Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, and are you ready to get this started? All right, huddle up, huddle up. We're going to crank these engines up on one. All right? Wait, set. Drivers, start your engines.
The Dolphins' second-year quarterback, former Alabama star, Tua Tagovailoa, giving the command. And the fans here excited to see racing summit attendance. So we can't wait to crank it up and get it going.
Belts tight one more time. Ready for the green flag. We're racing in Homestead. Welcome to the Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox. Homestead Miami Speedway plays host to the 3rd race of this NASCAR Cup season. And what a topsy-turvy start we have had with 2 first-time winners in the first 2 races. Now, there are 6 former Homestead Miami Cup winners in this field today, Clint. So what makes us think we could have a 3rd first-time ever Cup winner today?
Well, I think this racetrack, it lends to another first-time winner, and Tyler Reddick is the one that I'm thinking. These dirt guys, their experience of running the fence up there, the boards, as the dirt guys say, he is a cat that can add his name to that list of first-time winners to keep this thing going.
This oval track, it is symmetrical all the way around, so drivers can get up there, ride the rim, ride that cushion right next to the wall. How do they do it, Jeff?
Well, the grip goes away down the bottom. This track is nice and worn out, and that's what gravitates the line up to the top groove. But when you're going to run that top groove, you got to just put this bubble or cushion of air between the right side of your race car and that wall. That just gives a little more side force, a little more down force, just lets that car have its way and carry that momentum down those long straightaways and make up more speed.
But don't burst the bubble.
Because you don't want to take out that right side and cut a tire.
Reminds me of Richard Petty. I asked him, why do you run right up near the wall at Daytona? He says, because it don't hurt so much when you hit it, when you're right up there already. Let's have a look at today's Dixie Vodka starting grid. The first 2.5 rows are all drivers who have either won the championship here or won this season, in the case there of Christopher Bell. Well, let's take that all the way through row 3. Kurt Busch has won here. Michael McDowell won at Daytona. Ryan Preece, 2 top 10s. Brad Keselowski up there.
And how about row 5? Past winner here, Mark Truex Jr. Alongside him, Cole Custer. In row 6, Chase Elliott, our defending champion, runner-up here a year ago. And alongside him in 12th, Chris Buescher. Row 7, Alex Bowman, who's going to be coming from the rear, and Ryan Blaney finished 3rd here a year ago. Row 8, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. alongside him, Eric Almirola, top 5 here in Miami just 1 year ago.
All right, boys, row 9 is my pick. Kyle Larson, Young Money, might sing today. Gonna see a lot of him up front, and Eric Jones. Row 10, Bubba Wallace and Justin Haley. Row 11, Daniel Suarez and Austin Dillon. And row 12, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch, there he is. I think you're going to see him as well. Be a force.
Corey LaJoie with a substitute crew chief on the box. Steve Letarte comes out of retirement as we look back through the rest of the grid, which was set by 50% based on the last race finish, 35% point standings, 15% fastest lap last week.
Yeah, William Byron right here in the 24, Jeff, looking good. That'll baby Rainbow Warriors. I like that car.
Oh, it's good looking. And how about Tyler Reddick? Man, this guy's so good. These dirt guys just do it right. When they get up to that top groove, watch for this guy to come to the front.
And there's your 38-car field, 7 of whom will go, or rather 4 of whom will go to the rear. Let's check in with our crew chief, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Mike, you and Jeff and Clint were talking about running up against the wall. And as you spoke, yeah, you're looking for grip, but it'd also be an aero advantage. So let's go to our Ford Performance Cutaway car, and I'm going to show you what's going on when that car is up against the wall. You get right up against there, and it's that pocket of air that Jeff was talking about. It actually creates a little side force. Now, I will say this. It is a pocket or a bubble of air. It can burst, as Clint pointed out, and if you burst that bubble, 2 things you're going to have to deal with. The owner that's got to pay for the side of that car and the crew chief that's got to repair it.
It's so true.
All right, let's get late-breaking stories from pit road, beginning with Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, there's a lot of stories surrounding Denny Hamlin today, but we'll start with the good news. His tire carrier, Josh Shiplett, he is back and he's feeling better. This is what happened yesterday. Check him out. Carrying those tires gets knocked down. They were pitting for Daniel Hemrick. He then went to the hospital, had some x-rays, and he has been cleared today to go over the wall. He told me he is ready, a little painful, but they're ready to do their job. Now, on the flip side, after inspection today, Denny's car was out on pit road. NASCAR walked by, did an eyeball test, saw something they did not like and did not approve, so he will be forced to give up that #1 starting spot and drop to the rear. Keep your eye on the 11. He's going to put on a show today, Regan Smith.
Well, Jamie, things are a little calmer here in the pit of Bubba Wallace and the 2311 team. But let's remember, this is only the 3rd race for this new race team, and it's on their 3rd different style racetrack, a 1.5-mile track. His first opportunity to feel all these new components in a car that he's never been in before with no practice. He said that today, no matter what, when the race is over, they're going to know the good and the bad they need to work on moving forward this season.
Thanks, Regan. Today's race, 400 miles down in the southern tip of Florida. It'll take 267 laps, stage 1 and 2, 80 laps each. A final stage of 107 laps. 45 miles an hour on pit road. And there's the fuel and tire window. There will be a competition caution at lap 25. There's the 2021 Toyota Camry TRD that faces the field out of turn number 2. You heard about Denny Hamlin, Corey LaJoie and Alex Bowman also to the rear, unapproved adjustments, and inspection failure for James Davis, and we'll send him to the back as well. Your onboard cameras for today as we scroll through them.
I like that clear shield, and Kevin Harvick will be able to see his eyes inside that helmet.
Last week's winner, Christopher Bell.
Polecat now, boys.
And here's his radio.
All right, bud, pull them tight here. No reason we can't go back-to-back here. Got the driver and the crew to do it. Have a good day. Be safe. Big picture here. Copy that. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, guys.
I love it. Confidence and momentum.
Can't be outran. Neither one of them.
So Bell moves up to the front row with Hamlin dispatched to the rear. Toyota pace car is in, ready to go racing. Round 3 of the NASCAR Cup Series for 2021 Green Flag. Push to the inside for third. Harvick draws a bead on leader Joey Logano.
Already 3 wide down, halfway down that back straightaway. Continues here off of turn 4.
4 wide in the back.
And the reason we love this racetrack, as a race car driver, you're looking for that. You see some of these teams backmired in traffic. This place has options. You can go, I watched them right there off the bat in turn 1, 3 wide. You're seeing huge momentum when you come off those outside lanes.
And one thing I want to point out, even though we saw Christopher Bell was the pole sitter because of Denny Hamlin's issues, the 22 on the outside of Joey Logano was the control car. Already that's cost Christopher Bell quite a few positions by getting behind on the start.
B.J. McLeod already on pit road as Logano comes around to lead lap 2 by about 4 car lengths from Harvick.
Very important to keep in mind on these restarts, especially early on. Yes, you got to make passes. You've got to make those moves. Clean air is so important. The other thing you got to keep in the back of your mind is you need these tires on a long run. Very, very difficult to try to not over push your car right off the start and blow the tires off of it.
Matt DiBenedetto coming hard, got to run all the way up to the bumper of the number 8 of Tyler Reddick, but could go no further. And the 24 also on the move, William Byron.
And Mike, when you're in the back of the field like this, coming through there, you just go wherever the car in front of you isn't. You're looking for clean air. But if you're up front, as our leaders, here's Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick coming after Joey Logano, you're actually trying to figure out, when do I move up the racetrack? When does the groove move up where I don't start to lose time by using up my tires on the bottom?
And also, if you're Joey Logano, that's exactly what you're watching him do. He moved up, and you can see, you know, he's going to go up as he gets. If that car gets bigger in his mirror, he's going to move up and block him for sure.
Boys, Denny Hamlin up 10 positions since the start. Had to start in the back due to an unapproved adjustment after inspection.
And just ahead of them, pretty nice battle going on between DiBenedetto and the 8 of Tyler Reddick. Oh, man, Kevin Harvick moved up. Looked like he was a threat for taking the lead away from Joey Logano, but here comes Penske teammate to Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, making a charge.
Exactly what I was talking about. Joey moved up, corrected his line, took the air off of Kevin Harvick's car, got tight, and then all of a sudden here you got a mirror full of Keselowski.
Michael McDowell started 6th, trying to make the pass for 5th. Here's the season's 2 winners so far.
Still blows my mind, Jeff, you know, to think these cars haven't been on the track, no practice, no qualifying, nothing. Literally first laps on the track, you see them 3 and 4 wide going for passes and making those moves.
Second place, Keselowski on the bottom, and Harvick has gone up to the top. It's Clint, to your point, in what other sport do they do that? Do you just walk out on the field and either throw the first pitch, kick off the ball, tip it off, or drop the puck? Nowhere.
There's no warm-up or anything. You know, when I'm going to a football game and watching the Kansas City Chiefs, they're out there in the field warming up, practicing kicks, throws, all that stuff. Receivers are running everywhere. None of that. You're in the motorhome eating potato chips. They call you and say, hey, it's go time. Come on, boy.
Well, it's go time
Chiefs
for
didn't practice near enough.
Thank you, Larry.
Who gave him a microphone
Zing.
today? I'd take a beating today.
Larson already making his moves coming up through the field, going after Michael McDowell for 7th.
Like you were saying, Jeff, he's forced to run the bottom. You know, if I'm got Kyle Larson in my mirror, I know where he wants to go. He's wanting to run that outside. You know he's going to be capable of it and good up there. I'm not going to give him that option. I'm going to try to take it from him.
Well, Michael McDowell gave him that option, opened up the door, bringing along Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right behind him.
Probably second guessing that as well.
That moves Larson to 7th.
Whoa, big time loose. You see how loose Kyle Larson got right there. That's what I was talking about. Got to be careful not to overcook those tires. Get them hot, they'll go away. You'll lose lap time.
Kurt Busch going after Kevin Harvick, making it stick down on the bottom, slides up in front of him. I've been noticing the 4-car Kevin Harvick, the back end sliding out a good bit. I don't know if he just ran a little bit too hard there at the beginning trying to chase down Logano, or if his car is super free right now while the sun's out.
Here's Jamie on our leader.
Joey Logano told me he does not want to run the top side of this racetrack. The only time is when the risk is worth it. That's the end of stages and the end of this race. They also just told him that his teammate Brad Keselowski is running one groove off the wall, and it's faster, and you see Brad starting to close.
0.4 of a second is the gap. 9 laps complete in Homestead. Joey Logano has led them all. NASCAR Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. And by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. 14 laps complete, and Fords have led them all. Here's today's Ford Performance Track Facts. The Blue Oval brand has won 8 times at Homestead Miami, most by any manufacturer. Joey Logano the last in 2018. And here's the lead change between Penske teammates Keselowski and Logano. Remember them 2 weeks ago on the last lap of the Daytona 500. Team owner Roger Penske was asked this week, do you sit down with these two? And he responded in a very Penske-like way, saying, no, before Talladega, we're going to sit down with all of our drivers and talk about what do we do in this situation, what's best for the team, what's best for the individuals. We'll see how it's handled.
Mike, I think a little internal rivalry is not a bad thing. You know, these guys are competitors, and if you're running good like these two are right now, you want them to push one another. You just don't want them wrecking one another. So there's a fine line.
That's a very good point.
Good point. Kurt Busch closing on Joey Logano. I believe Busch is the only driver in this race who won here on the old Homestead configuration, when this was a true 4-cornered racetrack, kind of a smaller Indianapolis, if you will. Now, his younger brother, Kyle, how's his race going, Regan?
Well, Mike, he's moved up 8 spots, actually 9 spots now to 15 from where he started, but not happy with that race car yet. Take a listen.
This is off on the extreme, plowing height on Mac Road. Not even close to Sim.
So you heard him make a comment, not even close to Sim. That's how these guys can go out there and run hard laps, and why the teams can get the cars set up so closely at the beginning of these races is that simulation that they use back at the race shop. But it sounds to me like whatever was going on in their simulation not correlated to this racetrack here today for Kyle Busch.
Very good point. We're on board with Christopher Bell right here. I was just going to say, kind of seems to be the trend for all the Gibbs cars right now. You know, Bell starting on the front row on the point there and already slid back to 9th. Again, still haven't had a chance to work on these cars, get a pit stop in, make some adjustments.
And well, one pit, Joe Gibbs racing cars running pretty good right here, Mark Truex Jr.
And they need to. Half of the Joe Gibbs team has not led a lap this year, has not finished in the top 10 this year, and that would be Kyle Busch and Martin Truex.
Well, you know that's going to change.
Yeah, you're not going to keep those two down.
Truex's last 4 races here, a win, 2 seconds, and a 12th.
And what I look at, Mike, when you say that, is today is going to be a great marker for us to look at where are these teams, where are these drivers at right now in 2021.
In the aero department, I listened to that comment and immediately thought aero. This is a racetrack where you've got to have downforce. You got to have grip, makes those tires not slip around, and it's just sheer speed. If you're struggling here, you hear those comments with Kyle Busch and things like that. Sometimes you can get that aero pointed with some adjustments. Sometimes it's a body aero issue.
Third place here as they lap past James Davison, Kurt Busch, and Kyle Larson. This is all happening about 3 seconds back of the lead.
Well, remember, these two used to be teammates at Chip Ganassi Racing, so a lot of notes shared back and forth over those years that they were teammates, especially right here at this racetrack. We've seen Kyle Larson run so good in the past, and we're seeing Kurt Busch run really well here today.
I tell you, the thing that I like about Kyle Larson right there is he's able to move and run on the bottom of the racetrack. As this track, the tires wear out, you've got to widen it up, make this thing bigger. That's why you see him on the outside. The preferred groove, you can see him fall back in line right there. He's wanting to run the outside, but you can't drive through him, can you, Jeff?
No, you really can't. I thought that Kyle was actually really nice to Kurt right there.
Yeah.
I think he thought his car was good enough around the bottom to be able to get up in front of him, but he probably should have pushed the issue a little bit sooner off of that corner to complete that pass on Kurt Busch. On board here with Kevin Harvick.
Listen to the throttle.
And third place side by side again, Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson. 2 Fords, then 3 Chevrolets, including Ricky Stenhouse in 5th. and then Truex, the leading Toyota, in 6th.
Isn't that frustrating, Clint? When, you know, you were so close, inches away from making a pass happen, and it doesn't happen. Kurt, you know, fights back on the outside, and now it's going to take several laps to set this pass back up.
And it's kind of the blind spot, right? You're coming off of turn 4, the elevation and the banking is higher. You can't quite see that car. You're just begging for that spotter. Come on, say it. I want to hear it clear.
You know, guys, we're about 2 laps away from what's going to be that competition caution, and I talked about this in the pre-race. If I was one of these crew chiefs, knowing that caution's coming, I wanted him to get all he could out of that race car to see where we stack up on the short run on fresh tires, the long run on the older tires, and to smooth that car around, see where it handles, to what adjustments I need to think about making as we move forward.
Keselowski and Logano have split the laps led, 12 apiece right now. This is for 11th. Austin Dillon in the 3, Chase Elliott in the 9.
I have a feeling a lot of big adjustments coming up at this competition caution.
Ricky Stenhouse holding 5th, 5 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, but he's really close in on the Larson and Busch battle right here ahead of him. So nice job. Another guy has some dirt background, Clint.
Yeah, absolutely, and laying some really good lap times down. But I said that in the pre-race show. You got to look for these dirt cars, guys. You know, when I think of running this racetrack, the old cushions up there on the outside, cat like Ricky Stenhouse right up his alley.
So 25 laps complete, all green. Brad Keselowski leads 13. Joey Logano leads 12. This will be the competition yellow. Something we don't have in our Take Clint's money game. No yellow flags there.
Take it already, baby. 10,000 to stage 2. All you got to do, free app. Get on there, put your picks in, see what it's going to be. Win my money.
Free to play. So why not download the FoxBet app? And here are the questions. They're all multiple guess. Okay, this can't be hard.
I tell you what, the biggest
it's not hard to take Clint's money.
I tell you, it's not hard to look at that picture of me and not laugh. My gosh, that's terrible. But the biggest mover, that's the one I like the most. You know, with a lot of these teams, a lot of good cars starting in the back, there's going to be some serious, you know, muscle being flexed coming up through the pack.
TV will age a man.
Oh man, I look like 90.
Look at me. Look at me.
Well, you just are. You're old.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett Smithley earns the free pass. Thought it was a little early for that, but there we are. And the pits will be open this time.
Mike, even Clint could be a crew chief for this race. Just 4 tires every time. Not even a debate.
I love it. I love it.
Tyler Reddick's moved up 10 spots. Matt DiBenedetto's moved up 11 in the early going, and Ross Chastain 13 positions, 13 for Alex Bowman as well. Regan.
Martin Truex Jr. moved up 3 spots from his starting position to 6th. That race car just started coming to him about 5 laps ago. He started to get happy with that car. It's a little loose off, meaning the back wants to slide out too much on corner exit. Jamie?
Kyle Larson, watch for him to have a little bit longer pit stop. They're going to put a Packer in the left front. They're just going to do it now. Get it out of the way early. Air pressure adjustment as well. The one, Kurt Busch says he's a little bit loose into turn 1. Otherwise, pretty good. Meanwhile, the Penske teammates, Brad Keselowski on the right, Joey Logano on the left. Air pressure adjustments in the rear wheels for both of them. It's a battle on pit road, Mike.
That it is. Here's your Ram race off pit road. Won by Keselowski. Busch picks up a spot. Logano drops 1. Harvick up 3. And Kyle Larson loses 5. First caution of the day, competition yellow in Homestead. Joey Logano won a championship here when Homestead Miami was the final race of the season, 2018, as Brad Keselowski did in 2012. Team Penske continues to lead every one of 29 laps so far today. Kurt Busch will line up on the inside of row 1. Logano with Harvick in row 2. Truex and Stenhouse. And on the opening start of the race, Daniel Suarez got a bit of damage to his number 99. We'll show you how that happened.
Yeah, made a little contact with Bubba Wallace.
If we get a chance. Right now, we're ready to go green.
All right, lane choice on the outside for our leader.
Green flag.
Still there, still inside bumper, still inside bumper. You're half ahead of yourself, barely hanging at your bumper. 2 lanes down, he's being shoved. Still there, the 1. 2 ahead of both your helpers. 2 ahead, yours is going to get there quicker. 2 ahead, still inside. Still inside, 1 back, both lanes behind. 1 back to both. Still inside, 3/4 to both lanes. Still there, door. Still inside quarter, still there. Joey's trying to get inside of him. Still there, middle lane. Joey's going to be inside on the bottom.
That's Coleman Presley, Brad Keselowski's spotter, as Keselowski leads. And one car, I think it was Truex, was backing up straight through the middle of the field there in turn 4.
So important when you're going into 3 and 4. Kurt Busch, he hit that bottom and he didn't hook the bottom. It's very, very tricky down there when you get into 3 and 4. I was telling myself, you better hook that bottom, and he didn't. Washed up. Obviously, it was 3 wide by the time they got off.
Jamie.
Joey Logano's second right now, worrying about what he's doing, but he's also thinking about what his teammate Brad Keselowski's doing.
Brad ran hard on the way out. That would be helpful. Gonna go hard out, even if he's got him. Could have got the 1. I was gonna run the back of the 2.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're coming off pit road, you know you're going to be the leader. You kind of check up so you don't speed on pit road, but for those guys behind you, they want you to run it all the way out so that they can then battle with some of the drivers that they're racing on pit road.
Ricky Stenhouse doing a little bottom feeding there in turn 4, and they were 3 wide there for a moment at corner exit.
Oh, well, Stenhouse has a nice race car today and going to try to take advantage of it.
Logano wants the lead back. He led the first 12 circuits. Keselowski in the 2 has been out in front for the last 21. Let's go back and show you what happened to Martin Truex there in turn number 4.
Well, you got Stenhouse on the inside lane, hooking that white line like you talked about, and the 24s to the outside of Mark Truex Jr. He just lost the air because he had a car in front of him also and took all the downforce off the car.
Worst case scenario, he had cars in front of him 3 wide. He was 3 wide, no air at all.
How about William Byron right now, up in 8th position all the way from 31st?
Byron settles in at 6th behind Chris Buescher.
Remember, he's won an Xfinity Racing Championship here in a great battle right down to the finish here. So he gets around this racetrack pretty darn good.
Kyle Larson tucks in ahead of Kurt Busch by a very narrow margin there. They were almost bumper to bumper. And Stenhouse keeps coming after Harvick and Logano.
And you saw that little bobble by Kevin Harvick. That's what I'm talking about. We saw that car was a little bit loose. They tend to trim their car out a little bit more, not put all the downforce in it, which you would not think would work at this racetrack. But I just wonder if that's the case here because Kevin Harvick's car is dancing around a bit in the rear.
Clint, the way the sun is playing peekaboo with this racetrack. It's bright sun. No, it's in the shade. No, the corner's in the sun. What's that do to you?
Oh, it throws complete havoc to you. You're slipping and sliding in one end. You see shade down here in 3 and 4, sun in 1 and 2. You can't figure out what to do, but definitely drastically changes the handling on your car.
Jamie.
Kevin Harvick has been so loose so far in this race, saying no grip whatsoever on that stop. They did 2 rounds down on the track bar, air pressure, and tires. And Rodney Childers, his crew chief, said, hang in there. The track is coming to us. It's getting better, especially with the cloud cover you guys were speaking of.
Well, that sort of goes back to what we were talking about. If they're saying the track's going to come to them because the cloud cover, or maybe this race ends under the lights, which it will get darker here, that track, as it cools down, will gain grip, and that's what they're banking on, a little more trimmed out. Maybe it's going to show some speed later in this race.
Hey, give credit where credit's due. How about Chris Buescher holding the pretty wheel in this 17 car, running up front with the big boys? He is headed to the front.
Buescher in third and teammate Newman in ninth. Both the Roush cars in the top 10. As Brad Keselowski leads in Homestead after 38 laps. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the third year in a row. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Brad Keselowski leading at 43 laps, but last time by, quickest cars on the racetrack were Kyle Larson and William Byron and Chris Buescher in second. Here's Byron making the move on Logano, third place.
Heck of a charge. And what I'm seeing is that 24 car is able to run the bottom groove here. He's probably not going to complete the pass unless Joey wants to give it to him. No, not going to happen. No. His car's a little bit better on the bottom longer. That's why this 24 car is able to come up to the next car and make the pass. Eventually, he's going to have to move to that top groove. Jamie, you got something on the 24?
Yeah, Jeff, I was actually talking to William about today's race and his plan, and he said, all right, we're starting 31st. By the time we have our competition caution lap 25, I want to drive through the field. Well, he did that. He also told me his main focus at this racetrack is to run on the bottom. He said this race will be won on the bottom under the lights. So that was their focus, and it's paying off early.
Well, he is one of the two quickest cars on the racetrack right now. Another is Chris Buescher. He is looking for his first top 10 finish at Miami. And Buescher in second. Regan.
Well, such a strong run for Chris Buescher so far today. Crew Chief Luke Lambert said this team had to make some very difficult offseason decisions and some conversations that were tough to have. They had so many areas that they needed to work on. It was tough to prioritize. Whatever they picked, they prioritized right, because this car looks good right now, Mike.
Let me tell you who is not moving forward, and that is Denny Hamlin. Slated to start on the pole, had to start, was moved to the rear by NASCAR inspectors, and he's in 20th spot right now, right about where he restarted.
My AC has quit. Feel like I'm losing power. What's voltage? Copy that. You're good off the back by 10. Last hit your voltage when you can. We're good there. Yeah, back the gas. I'm dumping you.
Now, Hamlin's lap times are competitive. They are right up there with the leaders right now. Not sure if that's resolved itself, though.
Well, it's never a good sign when the air conditioner's going out. Usually there's going to be more things coming down the road. Fifth place here, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kurt Busch.
And for the lead, here comes Buescher.
I tell you what, Roush Fenway Racing is having a heck of a start to this race. Newman's come up to 8th. Now Chris Buescher going to the lead.
Yeah, I was looking at Newman's lap times, Jeff, and they're as fast as Buescher, as fast as cars.
Keselowski fought back. I think that slower car had a little bit of an impact on the downforce, allowing Chris Buescher to get back in the throttle. He just wasn't able to complete that pass.
Yeah, Cody Ware in his first Cup start at Homestead. First Homestead start. There is the cat in usually the hat, Jack Roush, who owns the 17 and the 6. Where's the Wienermobile? 9th place for Newman. That's just fun to say.
It is.
Larry.
You know, guys, I think a change that Roush Fenway Racing made during the offseason. Jimmy Finning, longtime championship crew chief for Kurt Busch back in 2004. He's always looked after their super speedway program. This year, they've kind of put him in charge of the entire program, and I think we're seeing the result right here in the first race at a conventional racetrack.
Absolutely, Larry. Somebody's lit a fire under those two.
And it's a good sign of what's to come.
Yep.
You need to be, if you're going on a racetrack like this, old wore-out surface, Jeff, 1.5 mile racetrack, this is the bread and butter of our sport. If you're good here, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with every week.
Alex Bowman quietly up 9 spots since the restart. He was one of the 4 cars that had to go to the back of the field on the start. for unapproved adjustments. And Alex up to 8th place. And working on Ricky Stenhouse.
Yeah, there's Alex Bowman in that 48 Ally Chevrolet. Running down the Tide Chevrolet, Kroger Tide Chevrolet of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as we see this battle up front still heating up between those two Fords.
All right, so why doesn't Brad just say, look, you want it that bad, you go ahead, you lead for a while. Why not?
Well, your car drives so much better when it's out front in that clean air. And if he can maybe make Chris Buescher heat up those tires by trying to pass him, it actually might wear the tires down a little bit, build some air pressure up in them. He might be able to maintain this lead.
Hey, he's a competitor. You want to lead every lap. You want to win the race. You want to be the guy.
Wow. Right now, the only one heating up the tires is Brad Keselowski as he slid that right rear through turns 3 and 4.
Look at the run Buescher got on him because of that.
Oh, he lost all his momentum. He was slideways off turn 4.
And right now, at this point in the race, I do see guys being a little more conservative and not running right up against the fence. Here comes Buescher to the inside of Keselowski. You're almost going to have to make a slide job, sort of side drive down the back straightaway, carry that momentum in the corner, and then slide up in front of Keselowski.
Get up, get up, get up. Not going to happen.
Chris Buescher trying to lead. Get up! Oh! For the first time at Homestead, and he does.
Big push.
You saw Keselowski jumping the throttle, and the back end stepped out on a little bit.
I was saying it's such a, when you're coming off that corner, Mike, you're just waiting. The best thing you could ever hear is that spotter finally say, clear, all clear, move up.
What a run, what a day this kid is having.
Jack Roush trying to get his first top 5 here since 2012. Chris Buescher, the new leader. Yeah. Laps complete. Riding along with Bubba Wallace and the DoorDash cam. Exciting news this weekend. NASCAR and DoorDash officially announced a multi-year partnership. They are now the official on-demand delivery platform. So Fox welcomes DoorDash to the NASCAR family.
Good. We need some. How does that work? Give me some DoorDash up here. Do you need a burger? What are you going to have?
They sent a discount code to your phone.
All right.
I don't know what I want, but you're making me hungry.
Martin Truex seems to have settled at 10th. He passed Kevin Harvick in the last lap or two. Harvick in free fall has dropped from 3rd to 11th. Truex seems to have stabilized at 10th.
It's hard to say. It's all splitter when I have no grip at all. You know what I mean, James? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I know, James, but I'm 11th now. You know what I mean? I know. We need to be better on the front.
And I think I heard him say he wanted to be better on the front. So when those pressures are a little bit low coming off of pit road, the car wants to squish down. There's just not as much spring rate in those tires. So if you're a little bit low, that splitter can hit the racetrack and you just can't go anywhere. You just cannot carry the speed into the corner, off the corner. But I'll tell you what, right now, that 19, one of the fastest cars on the track.
Yeah, but later on in the race, you're going to have trouble. On those restarts, when the money's on the line, you got to be able to take off.
And Bowman, he is coming fast. Goes by Kyle Larson. Whatever that adjustment was, the Packer, whatever on the 5 car, I don't know if that helped him out. Maybe it'll help him later, but right now, that car's just not as good as it was earlier.
Alex Bowman, that lap, was the 2nd fastest car on the track to our leader, Chris Buescher.
And in traffic.
Well, you talked about adjustments right there, Jeff. It's so important, the chemistry. You got a new team here, new driver, crew chief. They've got to work on that. When that cat's in there saying, hey, I'm loose or I'm tight, you got to be able to tell how tight or how loose he is by his demeanor, his attitude, and his, his voice. It's what you have.
Xfinity fastest lap. Last time by, Martin Truex over Chris Buescher. Alex Bowman 3rd. Kurt Busch, William Byron.
And that's typically what we see. You're hitting the splitter. You're not able to get going up in the early part of a run, as we see here. change for 5th place. Alex Bowman going by Joey Logano. But that's where the long run speed comes, because that splitter now is perfect, in how it is correlated to the racetrack. That front end is getting the maximum amount of downforce right now.
And Jeff and Clint, I talked to several crew chiefs this week, and they told me the biggest challenge is keeping that splitter height right when the loads change so much and the pace slows down.
So watch here as Martin Truex makes this pass for 8th place.
You can see he tried to make the pass in the bottom, turns 1 and 2. The momentum comes off the top in the 47. Now the 47 opens up the door. The 19 of Truex goes right on by on the outside.
We are under caution. James Davison's day goes up in smoke.
Put it out.
And flames, yeah, put it out.
Maybe get out. He's on fire, boys.
We had thought, based on Larry's advice, that the teams could go all the way to the end of stage 1, which will come at lap 80, without having to make a stop for fuel and tire.
Hey, Larry, I'm going to go with 4 tires on this. I need some tires. Okay.
Well, good call. Good call.
Well, the fall off is over 2 seconds from those fresh tires, the old tires. So I don't care if they run a half a lap under the pace car lap. They're coming to pit road.
All right, let's check with Larry for today's right combination, sponsored by Subway.
Well, Mike, this is a combination that's not been together a long time. Brad Keselowski, his crew chief Jeremy Bullins, it's only their 2nd season together in the Cup Series. They won 4 races last year, finished 2nd in the points. They also won 14 Xfinity Series races together a few years ago. And how about this for the mile and a halves? Last year in 11 races on mile and a half tracks, top 10 in 10 of those 11. I'd say that's a Subway right combination, especially for mile and a half tracks.
That is a good record indeed. James Davison, it appears, will join Timmy Hill out of the race. And we'll double check, but I think Garrett Smithley is once again the free pass.
Dent wizard. We needed them boys last week, Jeff.
There was no dent wizard was fixing that. What about the mirror hanging off?
All right, let's see. Will the pits be open this time? No, they have to get some track sweeping equipment and speedy dry put down. Friday nights on Fox, it's WWE SmackDown. Here's Michael Cole with a preview for what's ahead this week.
Daniel Bryan has the opportunity to face Roman Reigns at Fastlane for the Universal Championship if he can defeat Jey Uso in a brutal steel cage match. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern on Fox.
Here at Homestead Miami Speedway, 14 laps to go in stage 1 under the 2nd caution of the day. The first was the competition caution, and this one of those expensive parts let go under the hood of James Davison's car. Denny Hamlin hasn't been able to get to the front today.
My hose fell off my helmet. That's why I have no AC. That'll do it. Yep.
Oh.
I fixed it.
It was not electrical.
You know, we called that the caution. You said those expensive parts. Old Barry Wright used to tell us that's an oil pan failure is what happened there.
Did not contain. Yeah, there's that air hose. And I'm telling you, we're on a pretty warm day here in South Florida. It's hot and it's humid, and these guys are working hard sliding that car around the racetrack.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's no way I'd have said that on the radio. No way I'd have said that. I just would have fixed the problem and not said another word.
I'm just wondering how's it feel up here in the booth?
Hey, it's nice. Slipping and sliding around that hot surface is a lot of fun out there too. Bet your butt they're having a blast out there on this racetrack. Some of them.
Clint,
I don't know.
Just
Maybe
let that crew chief worry himself sick the entire race about about what's going on with the electrical system. You would not tell him your hose fell off.
No chance you're going to find that out, Larry.
Now, Larry, I want to know, when the hose fell off the helmet and he got hot, it seemed like the horsepower went away too underneath the hood. How does that relate?
Yeah, I can't connect those dots. I just can't connect them.
I don't imagine they put that in the sim, do they?
Fixed it, guys. You're not going to believe this. And the horsepower's back, too. Everything's fixed.
Chris Buescher, everything going his way today. He has led his first laps at Homestead Miami Speedway and now has led 15 of them, which ties the most he has ever led in a Cup race, which was 15 laps at Talladega.
Got that Mustang rolling today.
So they will open pit road this time, even though there's a big snail's trail of speedy dry down there. 13 to go in stage 1. Fords have led every lap today. Keselowski, Buescher, Logano. It's feeding time. Here's Regan.
Chris Buescher, your leader, very happy with that race car right now. It's just a little bit too tight on entry, meaning he can't get it to turn like he wants to when he pushes or when he turns the steering wheel. They're going to make minimal adjustments to that race car. He has been very, very pleased and very descriptive about how good it is. Jamie?
William Byron in the 24 comes in second. Said this thing is awesome. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. They already did that in a 4-tire stop. The one of Kurt Busch said the air pressure adjustment last time in the right rear didn't help any. So they're going back on that, and it's 4 tires as well. Meanwhile, the Penske teammates down on pit road. The 22 lost a little bit of turn. A 4-tire stop here. And his teammate, Brad Keselowski, and you see Denny Hamlin in taking an extra long stop there.
Joey Logano, Martin Truex, the big winners, along with Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott on this round of pit stops. There's the race off pit road. Cuban sandwich. That looks pretty good, fellas.
Oh, yeah. Send one of those up.
Yeah, DoorDash that thing right up to us.
All right, the choose rule comes into play for the first time this season because it is not used at Daytona, Talladega, or the road courses. On every restart, each driver gets a chance to choose inside or outside lane.
And these guys back here stalled out, stacking up, panning out, trying to see what's going on. They're waiting. They're listening to their spotter. Count them down. All right, 5 cars on the bottom, 5 cars on the outside. You know, you got to know which lanes, because there's a lot of things going on. You want to be in one lane or the other, depending on how your car's handling, how you're doing on these restarts. But how many can I advance a couple rows by going to the outside or the bottom?
By the way, you know, we've seen this over the years for a long time on short track racing all over the country. I love that NASCAR has brought this to these 1.5 mile and other tracks.
Absolutely. We're going to listen to Mike Herman Jr. on the spotter. He on the restart. He's the spotter for Chris Buescher, who has now led 18 laps.
Well, his job's pretty easy right now, Jeff.
Go.
Don't spin the tires. That's the #1 job.
Block that outside. Do not let a car to your outside.
But we've seen where Brad Keselowski's been pretty good on the short runs, Buescher good on the long runs. We'll see how that plays out. You know, how much of that is built into the setup.
But if you're Martin Truex, it's, you know, row 2 right there. You get a big push, get to the first corner right there. If you can get to his outside, you can get him loose, possibly take the lead.
32 cars on the lead lap. It'll be 8 laps to go in stage 1. Here we go.
He's having an independent one, so nothing out back here, still on top. He's got the 22 rod pulling back here, still in there. Still tied even. Still there, still 2 only. They're 3 wide off the back, still on top. Clear. Cover the 19, 2 back in the mirror, 48 on the bottom here.
You saw Brad Keselowski hook that bottom like I was talking about. As soon as he did, the way he took the lead.
How about the heads-up driving by Martin Truex Jr. to put that block on Kurt Busch, as Kurt Busch was going to go to the outside, take him 3 wide.
Well, I thought Martin was going to do exactly what I said he was going to do, and he didn't take it. And then next thing you know, he's looking in the mirror, blocking.
We saw the 48 of Alex Bowman right there smoking. He's got a slight tire rub. He went 3 wide down the back straightaway to get to 3rd.
Matty Benedetto on the bottom, past Stenhouse with the 21. And here comes Kyle Busch, taking it 3 wide on the bottom. Crossover move, McDowell.
You watch those cars hook that line. That's what I was talking about. Very hard to do in 3 and 4. If you can get that thing hooking on the bottom, it's almost like sliding onto a rail. And that thing really, really hooks the bottom, and you can carry a lot of speed. If you miss, which you can see him doing right here on a few cars, it's a costly mistake.
William Byron to 5th. He restarted 7th.
Tell you, this 19, Mark Truex Jr. Power move around the outside of Alex Bowman. Keep an eye on that tire rub on the 48, but 19 of Truex is really quick right now as he's in the 3rd place. Let's see if he can run down our leaders, those 2 Fords, Keselowski and Buescher. You know, you talk about hooking that bottom group. You know, a lot of times, Clint, we go to places and as we see Alex Bowman trying to hook it, and the paint has some grip to it if you can get to it, and that paint is up on the racetrack like in Atlanta. But here at this 1.5 miles, that paint is really not on the racetrack, so you don't hook the paint. You just got to get as low to that apron as you possibly can without touching the apron.
Well, and there's kind of a bump down there too, and it feels like the track crowns over a little bit. If you miss that and get up on that crown, man, it just takes off to no man's lane.
Buescher
flexing that muscle again.
I love the job this guy's doing. I mean, they're showing some heat on pit road and on the racetrack. Not going to complete the pass. Here comes Keselowski fighting back.
Such an aggravating thing right there. Gets that big run. And it also, you know, when you miss that, all right, he dove down there and tried to make the pass. If you don't complete that, there's some scrub on those tires that you wish you didn't take.
Right, because to commit down there, you're using up more. You're overheating those tires down that bottom lane.
For sure.
Keselowski, a little bobble there. And Buescher has a look on the inside. He's going to try.
Side draft. And I love how
Brad's coming down and do the same thing back to him.
This is going to complete the pass. I love how good Chris Buescher's race car is and how he searched for that air to get to the front bumper.
So does he.
3rd place, Bowman, Truex, and Byron. Let's go back to our aerial coverage and show you where we think Alex Bowman got that tire rub.
So this is down the back straightaway. Oh, you see William Byron almost trying to make it 4 wide. I don't know if there was contact there, but we think there may have been a tiny bit of contact to the right rear of the 48. You know, with this 550 package and the horsepower and that big spoiler, you know, you get such a huge run. I think William Byron's like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? Well, you know, you got to think twice about going 4 wide there.
All right, let's see who gets the stage points. This is the lap. Chris Buescher for Roush Fenway Racing. His Ford comes off turn 4, and he will win stage 1 from Brad Keselowski, with Truex 3rd, Byron 4th, Bowman 5th, Kyle Larson and Joey Logano.
Love it. Great job, Chris Buescher. You know the old cat in the hat's happy about that.
Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, and Austin Dillon also pick up stage points. 2nd career stage win for Buescher. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. Stage 1 is complete. Chris Buescher, the stage 1 winner. Now consider this. Before today, in 5 Cup starts at Homestead, Buescher had only spent a total of 3 laps in a top 5 position. Today, he wins the stage. He's led 23 so far.
Wow. What a difference of performance.
I don't know what that conversation they had in the offseason you were talking about, but it worked.
Pit road is open. Here's Regan.
Well, Chris Buescher obviously still very happy with that race car. The one thing he needs, though, is for it to take off just a little bit better. It takes a lap or two before it comes in. They don't want to sacrifice the long run to make that happen, though. Martin Truex Jr. on the left gear screen, he wants to tear off so he can see out the windshield. That race car's better. The front end is still bouncing too much, though. Jamie?
William Byron in the 24, he's been good. Not a lot of complaints mentioned getting into his teammate of the 48, but said the car is good. The 48, his teammate Alex Bowman said, I'm just too tight. I can't drive into the corner as well as these other guys. They're going to make an adjustment for that. And the 2 of Brad Keselowski, air pressure, wedge adjustment. Said he was on the splitter a little bit, and Brad comes off pit road second.
Pretty close Ram race off pit road there. Buescher beating Keselowski. Bowman, Elliott, and Logano all gainers. Byron, Truex, Larson lose positions.
Let's talk to Chris Busch.
Yeah.
Let's get him on there. Hey, Chris Buescher, it's Boyer in the booth.
What's up, Boyer?
You are, man. How about it? Heck of a run. Doing a great job so far. Stage 1 winner. What do you got for a race car? Looks to me like a hot rod.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this Fastball Mustang's treating us good tonight, so everybody's worked really hard to come down here. I think we all like this track. It's one of my favorite mile and a halves we get to come to, so pretty neat to be winning laps and winning stages here early on. So we're got a lot of racing left to do, but we're going to keep at it here.
Well, buddy, I feel like I'm more excited than you are. Maybe that was what I was missing all them years. You're focused, dialed in, keep up the good work. I like what I see, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Did you say maybe?
Don't act like you're surprised. You're more excited than somebody.
There you go. 84 laps complete. We're getting ready for stage 2. Chris Buescher, the leader. NASCAR Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. And by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. One to go before we take the green for stage 2. Here's what's coming up this week on Race Hub, presented by Wendy's.
This week on NASCAR Race Hub, presented by Wendy's. We've got our marching orders and our heading homestead. It's Women's History Month, and we're meeting the ladies who help make NASCAR go round. And
It'd be nice to have a faster car.
you heard the man. Don't go anywhere. It's radioactive. That's all this week on NASCAR Race Hub. Weeknights 6 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1.
I don't know another show that has a favorite segment that's everybody's favorite segment unless you're in it.
Oh, it's
like
way more fun this year to be the one laughing at.
Yes.
Yeah, because he was in that show every week.
Look at these guys, huh? I love NASCAR fans. How cool is it to have NASCAR fans back? I was just looking out over the window here and all the fans having fun enjoying this race. And then I watched that DoorDash. Where is this DoorDash and how? Wendy's, man. Wendy's look good. Old Clint up here's hungry. How does this happen?
If you look behind you, there's some Joe Stone crab.
Can we get Bubba on the radio next? I want Bubba on the radio.
That Al Garcia brought for us. Chris Buescher has chosen the inside. We're going to listen to the 48 on this restart. Here they come to the Geico restart zone.
You're good, just 2 wide. Still outside. Clear up behind the 2. Clear up behind the 2. There's 3 wide behind you. And big run. Hold the lane. Hold the lane. Hold your lane. Your middle 3. Middle 3. Clear low. Clear low. Out there tight. Leave a lane out there. Still out there. 9 still at your quarter.
I saw 4 groups of 3 wide off turn 4.
And where you don't want to be is that meat in a sandwich. You do not want to be the middle. You heard him saying on that block, make sure you get up tight on your door like that. You get loose, one wiggle, and you're in big trouble.
Is that smoke from Keselowski as he came off the corner? Maybe a little tire rub on low pressure?
These restarts are pretty crazy, and you can just see how these guys are going for it.
I think what you're seeing there is the movement in the rear ends. It's just on the low air pressure, it gets into the quarter.
That sidewalk could be flexing a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Busch had a moment. And
I'll tell you who's got some short run speed right now is Chase Elliott as he takes the lead from Chris Buescher.
Chase Elliott has just become the first driver to lead today, not driving a Ford, and that's after 88 laps of this race.
Thanks, boys. Pit stock gained him 4 spots on the pits. Now he's leading the race. Championship has come with the team.
Comes the 5 teammate to Chase Elliott. If Kyle Larson going to try to get by Buescher, goes to the inside. I'll tell you the one I think was pretty nervous on that restart was Rick Hendrick, because he saw all his Chevrolets 2 and 3 wide racing really hard.
Now he sees all his Chevrolet drivers, all 4 in the top 6 right now.
Exactly, Larry. He went from really nervous to really happy on about a lap.
Jamie?
Well, William Byron has lost some spots on pit road the last few stops. This was the team radio after his last stop.
Better now. Behind you. Still good at 6. Pressure on the corner. Trap down the bottom.
We had a little spotter communication in there, but where Byron's pit stall is, he has a clean entry into his stall, but the stall ahead of him is occupied by a car that was coming into the pits later, making his exit difficult.
Man, what'd you tell him last night, Jeff? Mike, you know, I didn't get invited to the cool guy. All the cool kids got invited to dinner last night. The guy standing next to us went to dinner with him. You must have said something to him, because these cars are fast.
Well, I didn't know how we were going to get a word in if you showed up.
And Byron completes the pass on Keselowski for 4th.
Hey, but look at Chris Buescher. I'm telling you, this car might not take off as good as some others, but it is fast on the long runs.
Could that be air pressure or something like that? When I'm listening to you say that, it's immediately what I thought. And the other thing is you start to see organizationally cars moving up. You see these Hendrick cars like we're talking about. You start learning things. One car might be a little bit different on air pressure through the course of a couple pit stops. Now they're all coming together. Hey, man, that 17 was fast. Newman's team's asking, where's he out on adjustments? Where's he out on air pressure? Same thing goes for any of these teams.
Denny Hamlin into the top 10 for what may be the first time today, just ahead of Austin Dillon. There's Hamlin's day as he worked through an issue with his air conditioning hose, and we're not quite sure what else.
Well, one thing we know, we got to keep Denny Hamlin cooled down, because as soon as they got the air conditioner hose hooked up, boom, he's coming back to the front.
Cole Custer right with them, holding 12th.
And you're starting to see some shade down in turns 1 and 2. That's going to bring that track temperature down. That's going to bring a little more grip. As that sun goes down, more and more grip's going to change the complexity of this race.
Chris Buescher, your leader, over Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Brad Keselowski. We're going to take you Fox side by side.
Your turn.
I'm going to open 2 beers.
Okay.
You tell me what sounds more refreshing. This one or this one?
Agreed. The second one.
That's 2 for Busch.
Carl shopped for the lowest mortgage rate and chose Amerisave, a choice he'll never regret. Unlike the choice to hitchhike, which ruined his hand modeling career.
It's over.
Don't worry, Carl. Things are looking up. Visit Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings.
I am chaos in a good way. I am everything you want to see at once. Coming at you like a comet on fire. I am bumping, banging, and battling to the finish.
It is all on the line.
Because if you can conquer this series, you can conquer anything.
That was some intense racing.
I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I am NASCAR.
Condos, 150K.
Sorry, bud.
Thanks.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
All right. Back to work.
I am a driver with a dream. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
Loaded. Chris Buescher for Jack Roush, the leader, and a Hendrick intramural battle for second. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott in those Chevrolets, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we saw the 9 of Chase Elliott just take off on the restart. And when you see a car that has that fast or that much short run speed, it makes you a little bit nervous of what you're going to see in the long run. That's exactly what we're seeing. The 9 of Chase Elliott starting to fall back a little bit. Maybe they can make an air pressure adjustment or somehow get that long run speed back in this number 9.
Kurt Busch 2 laps ago was side by side with Joey Logano. He has now completed that pass for 8th and draws down on Alex Bowman just ahead. Martin Truex going to try and bust up that Hendrick party in the top 5.
Now here's a car that has great long run speed. He struggles a little bit on the short run, but boy, if this thing stays green, you're going to see him continue to march forward.
Downforce is king on a track like this.
First, second, and 12th in his last 4 starts here. Truex.
Couple champions here struggling back in 18th and 19th. Never expected to see these guys midfield like this.
You said struggling. You could hear him struggling to put the throttle down right there. I always like listening to the audio in these cars, especially when they're running a wall. There's an art to it. You can hear him feeding the throttle a little bit more, but you got to be soft with it.
And I love that right there. You saw Kyle Busch in the 18 ahead of Kevin Harvick run that bottom groove, shortcut it, but man, you saw how much momentum he lost in the exit.
And here's Ryan Blaney. Another of those cars that has neither led a lap nor finished in the top 10 this season, along with DiBenedetto right behind him. And they're in 15th and 16th right now.
Yeah, guy ran so well here. Talking about Mark Blaney, but Matt DiBenedetto also guy that we expect, you know, there's some big pressure on this guy this year to step things up with that 21 car.
The 21, a Penske affiliate, along with the 3 Team Penske cars.
You know, we got a little something new this year. Let's dial up Travis Geisler, competition director over at Penske, find out what's going on with this Penske Fords. Hey, Travis Geisler, Jeff up the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
What did he say, Jeff?
I was going to say, if you know what he said, can you translate for us? A little technical difficulties there. We'll try him again later.
I'll tell you what I like about this point in the race. You're starting to see people run different lines. The outside, right down on the bottom. We watched, the 18's been running the outside here. You can see these 3 cars here with the Joey Logano. You see a lot of blocking too. At the end of the day, when you start to see these runs coming from the outside and things like that, you go to the blocks. You've got to be in the mirror, and it's something that you hear us talk about at a track like Daytona, Talladega. Trust me, it's an important factor in this as well.
Well, now what about Logano? He led the first 12 laps, but here he is just trying to hold on to a spot in the top 10, and that's difficult right now.
Well, when I said blocking too, let me go back to that. It's not necessarily just putting a block on, it's taking the air off of them. You move up, take their line, and it takes the air off their car. You lose all your momentum and all your mojo.
Here comes Kurt Busch, still marching forward, going to go to the inside.
So many times when you're at this racetrack, you begin a groove, Mike. You be up there just ripping the outside, ripping the lip. Oh, everything's good. Catching this guy, just murdering him a half a second a lap. As soon as you get to him, he pulls up, takes your line, takes the air off your car. Everything's out the window.
Come to a complete halt.
So Denny Hamlin moves around Logano and into 9th place. Austin Dillon challenging for a spot in the top 10.
So, Mike, we've been waiting. We've been talking, building this up about running the fence up top, and it just hasn't been there yet. We've seen some good race cars not having to run up top, but we see Denny Hamlin last time by right on the fence. And I thought when the sun went down, the groove would move lower, but I'm wondering if there's going to be some grip up there at some point in this race.
Well, you're talking about up there. There's two up there. There's the top, and then there's that next level of commitment of running right on them the boards, as they call it. You've got to be right up there, back to that air bubble. That's where it's at.
Now, Truex down in 1 and 2 has done just that, Clint. He has been rim riding right up against the wall as Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott. We saw a whole new Kurt Busch last week on the road course at Daytona. I mean, he had an aggression level. If this was Spinal Tap, he would have had a turn to 11.
I've seen it today as well. He's elbows up with every single lap, pushing hard on these restarts. He's a bear, man.
Well, he was leading last week, right? Went through that kink in the middle, went into the grass. He was this close, just so close to being on our put it out segment.
But then you see, you know, Brad Keselowski's week, up and down and out, and finally ends up, you know, in the money at the end of the thing. Kurt Busch the same way.
Kevin Harvick back to Matt DiBenedetto, 17th. Suarez and Kyle Busch in the picture there.
These two right here
we go.
Going at it.
5th place.
Clear up, clear up, clear up, clear up. Got it.
And 3rd place.
Yeah, you can see, and Mark Truex Jr. able to use that block a little bit on that slower car, and he had the momentum on his side also. Easily makes this pass for 3rd place. Truex coming.
So what happens right there, you get in a run, you get stalled out, running with a car, all of a sudden you get that lapper, you see it coming, you got to time it.
Chris Buescher, your leader after 109 laps. Welcome back to the Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox, brought to you by NASCAR's premier partners. Chris Buescher is your leader at 114 laps. And to win Clint's money, one of the questions you must answer is which of these 6 drivers will have the best finish in stage number 2. And Clint, I don't see Chris Buescher's name anywhere on that list.
We need another pick. Need another driver right there chasing Buescher. Chris Buescher is definitely the guy. Who'd you pick right there on your pick? Stage 2, baby. Stage 2, the money. It's right now.
I had Buescher, but he...
You did not. Such a layup.
Right now, of those 6, Chase Elliott is in the highest position. But the man who's tracking Buescher down is Martin Truex, and he's one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. Truex went winless on the 1.5 mile speedways last year for the first time since 2015.
I was going to say, Mike, I can't even believe I'm hearing you say that. I mean, how dominant has that team been, and that driver?
We won like 50 the year before that.
Yeah.
This is a driver who once led 392 of 400 laps at Charlotte.
Oh, I remember it well.
Yeah.
I would not have wanted to be up here in the booth on that race.
No, you wouldn't.
I would have. He was stinking up the show.
That's putting it mildly. Denny Hamlin continues his move forward. He's in 8th place right now, and his 35.46 is within about a 1/10 of what the leader's running right now as he battles Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I don't know if it's adjustments or the track as that sun starts to set is coming to these Toyotas.
And green flag pit stops have begun with Ryan Newman. Larry says he expects most of the field in the next 3 to 5 laps.
Yeah, Mike, it's not about fuel. It's about 4 fresh tires. And what this will do here in the next 2 to 3 laps, it pretty much splits this stage in half. That way you get full advantage of those fresh tires for 2 runs to the end of stage 2.
Well, I would think for some of these teams, too, it keeps you from going a lap down. You could take advantage of some of this lap time against the leaders. Save yourself a lap there.
Truex now within half a second of the race leaders. Ross Chastain on pit road. So is Matt DiBenedetto.
Such an important thing right here, Jeff, on a green flag pit stop. Very, very tricky. Track is slick. Tires are wore out. Can get away from you. That's where all the juice is, though. If you're going to get it, you got to get it coming on a pit road, but no mistakes.
Yeah, you're coming on that high bank onto that flat surface, trying to get it slowed down, and the tires are completely worn out.
And by the way, no practice.
Austin Dillon coming in to make his stop. Chase Briscoe needs a stop. He is trailing the rear bumper cover. It's coming loose from his car. And now Harvick on pit road along with Kyle Busch. Regan.
Well, Austin Dillon, this car has steadily moved up into the top 10 so far. Last pit stop, they made a big adjustment to the packer on the front end, which lowers the front end of the race car. He likes it better now. Jamie.
Kevin Harvick, he has been so loose today. They've gone down 2 rounds on the track bar the last 2 pit stops. He told the team, you guys are saving us. They just haven't been where they wanted to be. Another 4-tire stop for the 4, and they wipe the grill.
And Martin Truex takes the lead for the very first time this season. Didn't think we'd be saying that at race 3.
It won't be the last.
Jamie.
Chase Elliott said he wanted a tear-off. His vision was a little blurred there, had a lot of dirt on the windshield. You see that wedge adjustment there in a 4-tire stop. The 2 of Brad Keselowski back in the car has been all right. It's interesting how so many of these cars now have turned to the tight side as Joey Logano is in for service. Denny Hamlin is into the picture. He's a little bit loose still, so we'll have to keep our eye on that as the sun continues to go down, Regan.
Martin Truex Jr. just took the lead with a 19 car. That race car is getting better and better. Early in runs, they're making good adjustments. He wants more of the same thing. Jamie.
William Byron, another adjustment for him. He's gone to the tight side. One of those drivers that was loose early, so they're helping him out. Good setup for this 24 car. Good run today, Regan.
Well, Chris Buescher in the 17 car just lost the lead as this pit cycle started for him. That race car has been very good until about 10 laps ago. It just got tight on him finally. That's the first thing he said on this radio the entire run long.
Kurt Busch coming in side by side with Kyle Larson, who peels off for his pit stall and almost gets tagged there by Eric Jones.
Well, that was close. Very close.
Now, Truex took the lead, but he did not lead a lap. He took the lead, came around, and then pitted. So he still hasn't led a lap.
And it seemed like a last-second decision in order to come to pit road. Here's Truex. He goes to the high side. Normally, if you're going to pit, you're going to be on the bottom. I don't know if something happened or they just called him on the radio immediately, and that was really close between he and Chris Buescher.
Well, here's their radio.
Of course, man, you waited too long.
Waited too long to tell him.
James Small, trying to play a little strategy there, just did not get on the radio soon enough to Mark Truex Jr., but boy, that was close.
Here's Daniel Suarez, who surrendered the lead to make his pit stop, handing the lead to Bubba Wallace. Suarez is away. And here's Bubba.
Bubba's still working the bottom. Doing a little dirt tracking himself down there with those old tires. I mean, we're in the 3-second range now, Mike, at the end of our green flag run here of how much fall off from new tires to old tires.
So Bubba Wallace, the 7th different leader of this race, after a round of green flag pit stops. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Tastes unbelievably delicious. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. We're 6 laps to halfway in Homestead. Let's have a look at where the Coca-Cola family of drivers are. Austin Dillon 5th after green flag pit stops. Newman 7th, Hamlin 8th, Logano 12th, and Daniel Suarez, who was leading when he pitted, currently 24th.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, Austin and I use the same barber shop. Now, I don't, man, that high
and tight.
Sure hope they don't get a hold of me with them clippers.
Now we're going to compare a Kyle Larson stop. He was 4th when he came in, compared to Kurt Busch, who was 5th before his stop.
Guys, it was not that Kyle Larson's crew had a bad stop. Y'all documented when he had to almost stop to keep from hitting Eric Jones. That just threw the whole pit stop off.
Oh boy, we almost saw disaster right there. Chase Elliott did a big slide right up in front of Brad Keselowski. Whew, that was a heck of a save. So you see the 9 Chase Elliott trying to go 3 wide. He's got to now slide up.
Whoa.
And the back just came around. Boy, Brad Keselowski did him a huge favor.
That was a lot. That was a wreck. It just didn't happen. That's what that was.
Look how sideways the 9 is there. Where he finally gathers it in.
The slightest bit more contact from that 2 car, and that 9's going all the way around. Heads up move by Keselowski, because that not only would have taken the 9 possibly out of this race, it might have caught him up in it also. Too early for that.
That's right. If he was to hit him, 9's in the fence right in your lap, it's going to ruin your day. Didn't put him in a very good situation.
I'll tell you whose day is not being ruined right now. You saw the 19 get to pit road a little bit sooner than Chris Buescher, and man, that gap has just been able to build. He's 2.5 seconds up because of that sequence.
Yeah, Truex is now officially out front for 8 laps. Take a look at the USAA biggest movers since the restart back about lap 85. Austin Dillon up 11, Eric Almirola up 10. Ross Chastain and Kurt Busch up 8.
And this is a perfect example of guys that came to pit road early. Those that came a couple, 2-3 laps early, like Austin Dillon, that you had the fresher tires before others got on pit road. I told you 3 seconds of a difference. That's how you make up 6 and 8 and 10 seconds on somebody. Now we'll have to see, can they maintain? Can they hold on to that? Because now their tires are going to go away sooner.
So then, Larry, explain for us the strategy of, say, a Daniel Suarez or a Bubba Wallace of stretching it out just as long as you can and waiting to stop.
Yeah, Mike, you're so close to going a lap down before the pit stops, and you know if you just pit with the leaders, you're just going to be way behind. What they were hoping to do, Mike, is stay out there and catch a caution, and then they make up a ton of ground because they're going to pit, but everybody else is going to pit again. So it's a bit of a gamble. The trends show you that this stage is normally a long green run.
To Larry's point, caution free now for the last 54 laps.
Well, that's due to good heads-up driving. I mean, we saw it with this car right here, the 9 and the 2. That 9 was out of control, slid up in front of that 2. Had that 2 not have given him that lap or that position, that would have been a caution that we're talking about.
They're back at it, this time for 11th place.
That's Chase Elliott saying, hey, man, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Exactly right.
I'll tell you what, they're going to have to tighten up that 9 car, Chase Elliott. That car is super sideways and loose. Kevin Harvick right there in 13th.
And Ryan Newman grabs a couple of spots there to 7th. He was the first to make a green flag pit stop.
Exactly. I expect, I mean, that car is good. Don't get me wrong. They tried to do this, get some track position, but I do think it's going to start to kind of work against him here as we see the 5 and the 11 with fresher tires coming by.
Yeah, he started that green flag pit cycle. He pitted at lap 117. So, yeah, to the guys that pitted 4 or 5 laps after him, it's going to start to show up now.
Well, Newman was 11th before pit stops, and here he is racing for 7th. So that strategy has worked to this point.
Well, yeah, you're looking for the net gain, right? Let's see what happens at the end of this stage.
It's great. It showed you really good right there, a snapshot of the running the bottom, the difference in the momentum that Kyle Larson had on him when he came down that front straightaway off of the top. You catch him in the middle, they eat your lunch down the straightaway. I do not miss this, Jeff. That's one thing I do not miss.
You know,
that 6 car is the hardest car in the business to pass.
Ryan and I have had some conversations right here at this racetrack, as a matter of fact. And you know what? I'll give him credit. He didn't back down. He said, hey, man, I'm going to race as hard as I can for every position.
He does it to everybody.
And he does it to everybody. He's consistent.
He was asked about that, and Ryan said, he says, he's in the 6th. He says, I've heard he's a tough one to pass.
That's so good.
You know, you pointed it out. I think this track is starting to cool down, and the grip level's changing. The balance of the cars is changing. Example I'm going to give you, Brad Keselowski in that 2 car, remember, led 47 laps earlier, now outside the top 10. Joey Logano's back in 14th, Ryan Blaney back in 16th. So definitely, I think the track is changing, and they're not making the changes they need to make to keep up with the track.
No, Larry, and drivers that we thought would be factors here up on the high side. Tyler Reddick is 22nd. Christopher Bell is 24th. There are a couple others in that category that like to run the high side, but just have not spent much time in the top 10 today. However, 127 laps to go, and a lot can happen. Martin Truex, your leader, as we take you Fox side by side.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope.
Chloe Noah.
No. Joaquin. No. It just takes practice. Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a constant battle. We're going to open a PDF. Who's next?
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
No fussin', no cussin', and no...
We're taking trucks to places they've never been before, so they can be trusted like never before. By redefining quality and luxury, taking safety to new heights, earning award-winning driver appeal, and by doing what's never been done before, being named Motor Trend's Truck of the Year 3 years in a row.
Now get $6,300 in total values plus $500 bonus cash on the 2021 Ram 1500.
4.
And then 5, turn,
5.
kick.
We got chased by these wild coyotes. We were following her because she had beef jerky in her pocket.
Don't mind me, come on. Pick that up, right there.
As long as you keep making the internet an amazing place to be, we'll keep bringing you a faster, more secure, and more amazing internet. Xfinity, proud premier partner of NASCAR.
This is a stage, the Mecca, the Big East Tournament, where the Wildcats begin their run at a national title, where Creighton and Seton Hall stake their claim for the conference throne, where stars like Champagne and Booknight look to put on a show. And we all know, under the Garden Lights, any team can be the one to rock the glass slipper.
What a game! At the court!
The Big East Tournament, March 10th through 13th on Fox FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
I am the return of all the things you love about this amazing sport. It is the return of a new season. I am NASCAR.
16 to go in stage 2. If you're trying to win some of Clint's money, you're guessing which manufacturer will win stage 2.
I'm always trying to win some of Clint's money.
I tell you what, that's not who I thought it was going to be. That Buescher, it was strong, and he still is, laying down some really good lap times. But holy cow, did Martin Truex Jr. come in on his Toyota. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here at the end of the stage. Get him in. 10,000 on the line, everybody. Stage 2, Fox Bet app 3.
Well, you have every make in the top 3. Truex in a Toyota, Buescher's Ford, and Byron in a Camaro.
I've been wanting to set parity. I like what I see here. Different teams up front. We're seeing a lot of things that are a sign of good when we go on to these other racetracks throughout the season.
In 5th place, Austin Dillon. Regan?
Well, good move on the pit stop there, as you guys documented, Mike, to move him up 5 positions. He was running 10th. They short pitted, but that car has held on for him with those 5 positions. He told me when he got in, watch our race car when it gets dark out. That's when he thought this race car would be its best. Last year, the end of the race, very fast with that 3 car. Good day for Austin Dillon.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, how much earlier he came in than the cars that he's been racing around. I mean, he's holding steady. Other than our leader, Truex, and maybe Buescher, he's right there with the best cars.
And if I was going to look at an RCR team going into Homestead, I'm thinking Reddick, Tyler Reddick in the 8 car. Shouldn't have turned my shoulder on that 3 of Austin Dillon, for sure.
Reddick is in 21st. He's been running that high line all day, but without great effect. So the sun is starting to set out over turn number 1 here in Homestead. 120 laps to go. Yeah, reach for that volume now.
About there. One back, have a little run to you. Half back, give me your mirror. Right with you, bumper. Gonna push you all good. Slow bottom up here, down the front. Here, cleaner. 3-4. 3 back. Right away behind the guys on the same lap. Tired. Good job, man. Stay focused there. 11 more. There you go.
And the caution's out for Corey LaJoie. Big plume of smoke as he went off into turn number 3. He gets it down to the track apron pretty quickly. And we'll bring it to pit road.
Jeff, I sure hope Crank It Up doesn't end up being the best segment for the fans. It's not going to look good for our job security. We can't let that thing take over, all right?
Oh, hey, man, I love hearing all those sounds.
It's way cool. I love the radio chatter. That's my favorite part about it, especially when we're coming down to the end of this stage like that. You hear them spotters. You hear the crew chiefs a couple times saying, you know, the importance of getting those stage points.
See some quick adjustments happening to those tires on pit road. These guys are going to have a short run to the end of stage 2.
Very important right here, though. Track's changing, long run right there. Got to make some adjustments here. Those are going to make the pit stops longer. A lot of things to weigh out here in this pit.
Looks like David switched up the sets here on the 11.
6 laps to go here in stage 2. Working the 4th caution flag of the day with Martin Truex the leader. Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play because of COVID-19. Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play, donating brand new gear, including nearly $100,000 worth of equipment from Good Sports to restore play for programs in need in the Miami area. You can help. Text play to the number on your screen and help keep kids in the game.
Very cool.
So important to socially, physically give those kids an opportunity to get out there and play some great sports.
Caution flags a break for Ryan Preece, trying to keep his top 10 streak alive. He is the free pass car under this caution. LaJoie took it straight to the garage, where he will join James Davison and Timmy Hill out of the race. Pit road's closed, so we'll take a pit stop. You're watching Fox NASCAR.
NASCAR is back on track.
The crowd, a big one here today, is on its feet.
For the Pennzoil 400 in Las Vegas.
The Pennzoil 400 is now underway.
Only the fastest Swedes qualify.
3 wide in the middle of the making.
For high stakes action.
Chase Elliott almost gets turned.
At America's Racing Showplace.
If you're not enjoying this, you're not a race man.
When NASCAR gets back on track.
I've got goosebumps.
At Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Pit road is open as we get ready for a shootout to end stage 2. Regan.
Well, the leader of Martin Truex Jr., you see him turning into his pit box right there. That race car is starting to free up some as the track begins to get shaded. The 17 of Chris Buescher. He's on the splitter too early on in the run. Makes the race car tight for him right there. Jamie.
William Byron lost significant time exiting his pit box. The last time they told him he will have an opening, the 43 is not there. It's a 4-tire stop. The one in Kurt Busch car is so good. Started out better, a little loose, a little tight, a little bit of both. And the 48 of Alex Bowman made an adjustment with wedge and had 4 tires as well. And you see Denny Hamlin, they switched up those tires, got him on the car, and he's good to go.
Denny Hamlin picks up 5 spots exiting pit road. Kurt Busch gets 1, and Chris Buescher loses 3. Certainly going to dampen his chance to win this stage. So now it's going to be a shootout. Now you're going to have Truex and Hamlin, who started this race last, had to go to the rear. He's found his way to his front. Who do you like?
I like somebody in the second row. I really think that these guys that have great short run, like a Chris Buescher, I think his car's a little bit better in the shorter run. I think he could actually challenge these guys. I think you heard about them talking about they're on the splitter in the short run. It's going to get very aggressive.
Second row. Martin Truex Jr. is the guy. He's going to be there. He's on the point. He's going to keep it there. Martin Truex Jr.
We'll see.
It's on.
And it'll be a shootout to end stage 2. So how do you make the best NASCAR season even better? Grab the Fox Sports app. Exclusive content, in-car cameras, all the Bob Pockris you could ever want, with news and social feeds for your favorite drivers. Download the app. It's the go-to app for NASCAR fans all season long.
Well, and now I'm seeing them where they came off pit road. My guy Buescher's going to be in the 3rd row, not the 2nd row, so I might have to go back to that 2nd row.
Yeah, he came out 5th.
I can't believe he went fishing on that boat right there in the lake and found a Tom Brady jersey. I can't believe it.
Through the magic of television.
I didn't know Tom Brady's everywhere.
I hope I didn't make you mad breaking his trophy.
So Buescher will restart 5th. We'll get you some Craggle. If you watch the Lego movie, that's the crazy glue. You can fix this. I know you can. It's all you.
It's going to take a lot of it, Mike.
Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
Of course.
Money on the line here. A lot of stage points. I think it's going to get rough. Elbows up for sure.
So we talk about the drop-off on as tires wear. Look at Martin Truex's lap times in that last green flag run.
I mean, yeah, look at how much fun. Now he's a guy that doesn't take off as good, but he also doesn't fall off as much. But it's still, what, almost 3 seconds.
And mind you, that's the leader. He's in the cleanest air, running in the lead. That fall off is even worse as a 15th, 20th place car back there in the pack.
But now, we said Buescher would start in the 3rd row, but he might not due to the choose rule.
Good point.
Let's see where they go. Truex, the leader, elects outside. Hamlin inside. Kurt Busch out.
They kind of just went inside, outside until they got back to about 3rd or 4th row.
This is where it gets very confusing back here for these guys. Again, they're waiting, trying to figure out how many cars are in what row. I didn't like, if you were ever 20th, Jeff, you didn't have to do the choose rule. If you were ever like 20th land, it's busy back there. These guys like parked back here trying to figure out where they're going to go.
I still like the chances of this stage being won from the second row. I think that the 11 and 19 are good on the long runs, but we've seen William Byron be, and both Kurt Busch a little bit better on long runs, but William Byron very strong on the short runs.
This is where you're going to see big runs and big blocks.
The front row, both Toyotas. The second row, both Chevrolets. The third row, a Ford and a Chevy. Same for the fourth and fifth rows.
Getting them tires heated up. Need the tires. Big launch right here.
29 cars on the lead lap.
This is going to be wild, guys.
Watch for a lot of 3 wide, 4 wide. I'd say all the way around, beginning with when they get to turn 1.
And we'll continue until they get off of turn 4.
Truex has chosen the outside. Green flag.
Rolling them pretty fast right there, Jeff.
I like that idea, rolling fast, just less wheel spin.
I do too. At the end of the day, you have you have the push, you have the upper hand, being the leader, taking it.
Harvick charging up to 6th.
That's just some of that South Beach sand they put down. It's all good.
Buscher in the middle.
How about Denny Hamlin coming up in front of his teammate? Here comes the 24, William Byron to the inside.
Green and white checkers, Byron. Who picked William Byron? Well, who said they were going to come out in the second row and win this stage?
I didn't win. I didn't win my money there, boys.
And who picked Chevrolet to win stage 2?
William Byron from Charlotte, North Carolina picks up his 5th stage win. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway. The Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox. William Byron wins stage number 2. Pit road will be open, but they were just there.
Yeah, we got 29 drivers on the lead lap. You may see some of them coming, like there comes Martin Truex Jr. in that 19 car, but most leaders stayed out with only 1 lap on their tires.
Regan?
Well, an understandably frustrated Martin Truex Jr. with the end of that stage with his teammate. They've had a debate on the radio, decided to pit. James Small said, we're going to pit. Pit. Made it very decisively.
All right, now on that run to the green and white checkered flag to end the stage, well, Truex was not happy with what happened.
Danny, what kind of move was that? Nice, man. It's okay. Just note it. We'll know how we can race him now.
Denny Hamlin, for his part, said sorry to Martin if I pinched him.
He did.
It wasn't a matter of if. But you brought up something, Clint. I wonder if he got on the splitter. That nose took off on him, and he had to move up high and try to block his teammate, Martin Truex Jr., but opened up the door. That 24 car. Let's dial up stage 2 winner, William Byron. Will it be? It's Jeff up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, 10-4. I got you, Jeff.
Well, buddy, great job there. I actually was calling it because you've been so good on these short runs. Great job winning stage 2, but how happy were you when they opened up pit road and a bunch of them stayed out behind you?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we kind of talked about it under this caution of just, we only ran a couple corners, and with this package, it's probably okay. So I feel good about it. Our car's been handling awesome. Credit to Rudy and the guys. So we got what we need, I think. So now we got the track position, just got to do it.
All right, buddy. Well, that 24 is looking good out front. Good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, man.
So the first driver to pit, Martin Truex, will line up for the restart 18th as William Byron is your stage 2 winner. to the final stage of today's Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway. 107 laps. Now we saw Martin Truex, only 2 top 10 cars pitted, Truex and Ryan Blaney. Here is the discussion about the 19's decision to pit.
Ran way too many caution laps.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If we go 5 laps here and we get a caution, it's going to really suck.
Yeah, I know, but the other side was that gamble versus this, so I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Still a long way to go.
I'm still trying to figure out whose call that was, because at first I thought James Small was saying that maybe Martin wanted to come in, and then when Martin was talking I was like, maybe James was wanting him to come in. But hey, they've done it. They've come down pit road, and to Martin's point, they got to have a bunch of green flag laps now.
So the Toyota Camry TRD pace car leads the field. Truex will restart 17th and Blaney 18th after those pit stops. Here they come to the Geico restart zone. Byron inside of Hamlin on the brake.
Kurt Busch is wanting to go to that outside of the 11.
5 wide off of turn 2. Chris Buescher gets loose. Man, what a move by Austin Dillon. Here comes the 19 on those new tires through the middle. Mark Truex Jr. Tell you, those tires are huge.
Sure are. Kyle Busch loose right in the middle of everybody.
Definitely don't want to be in the middle on those restarts. You want to be on the bottom or on the top. Those late dive bombs getting into 3, you saw the 42 there. Those are things that it's aggravating, but it's as effective.
Hold on, where did Truex start on this restart? He's already up to 5th.
17th. 16th.
Anger's got to be worth something. You can tell he was pretty hot at the 11, and then the decision, he was questioning the decision to pit. He made up for it. Back in the game, boys.
Harvick's another one that came on pit road, got 4 fresh tires, making a lot out of it.
Another very quiet day for Kevin Harvick, but here he is in 6th.
Man, Kyle Busch just cannot keep it on the bottom. The car washes up, you get underneath of him. I bet he will be on radioactive, Jeff.
He might take over your new reigning spot.
Second place closing up. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson with William Byron out front. Truex and Kurt Busch behind these two.
You saw Kyle Larson give a nice push to his teammate William Byron to get him the lead, but it put him in a very difficult position because he had a car to the outside, no air getting to the nose to push that car down. He had to check up early in turn 1 and lost about 2 or 3 car lengths to the leaders, able to make that back up a little bit. This goes to show you how good Kurt Busch is. He's on older tires versus those newer tires. See how that air trips up over the hood as you get to the rear bumper of the car in front of you. But, I mean, Kurt Busch holding off the 4 tires of Kevin Harvick shows you how strong that one car and Kurt Busch is today.
Yeah, he's been fast all year long, very aggressive. I tell you, the other thing I saw is his roof flaps. His roof flap is bleeding a little bit of air right there. That's speed down the straightaways. You can see the 4 car was definitely sealed down. His was up.
There's second place. Larson trying to get to the inside of Denny Hamlin, but as long as Denny's running that fence, it's going to take a big run or big slide job from the 5 Kyle Larson to get this position. And he's got Martin Truex Jr. catching up fast.
Jamie?
Kyle Larson's in the 5. Remember, he has Jimmy Johnson's old crew from last year on the 48, Cliff Daniels, the crew chief. And Cliff told me this is the same car Jimmy ran here with last year, and they weren't very good, so they had to try something new. Well, they leaned on the 9. They have Chase Elliott's setup in there. So far today, it's working better for them than it is for Chase Elliott.
True that. Meanwhile, Chris Buescher has just dropped out of sight. He was 6th on the restart, and he has fallen to 18th.
The whole race is flipped. You know, obviously the pit cycle and things like that as we went into that stage end, but the track's changing. We said this at the top of the show, as this track transitions into night, cool temperatures, that fits into some teams' wheelhouse and it hurts the others, and you're starting to see that. I mean, look at the 22 of Logano. He's 24th.
Well, remember, Buescher stayed out. He didn't get tires, and if you're going to stay out, you got to get a great restart. He bobbled in the middle of turns 1 and 2, lost some positions there. Then he's in the middle 3 and 4 wide, and at that point, you're just going backwards. We've seen some other cars also doing the same thing.
Now, second place changes hands, but as it does here, Denny Hamlin proceeded to push Kyle Larson the whole length of the front straightaway.
They're buddies, so that's no surprise. I bet he was smiling the whole time.
Look at this block.
These guys aren't smiling. Ross Chastain puts a big block on Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, I felt like that was warranted. Matt might make radioactive on that one.
Meanwhile, up front.
Sunday drive for William Byron right now in stage 3. So how many of you picked Clint's pocket? 106 of you will split almost $100 each.
106 of them got my money.
Ka-ching.
All 10,000 of it.
Oh, man. Hey, Jeff, I need a ride home.
Listen, you're the one with all the money giving it away.
Hey, I love it. It's so much fun to be able to do that in that stage 2.
You notice they don't call it Win Jeff and Mike's money.
That's right. You'll learn.
I see you guys donated that project to the new guy real quick. Appreciate that.
That's right. Joe Gibbs' teammates going at it here.
I bet you 11 makes this a little bit easier on him to pass him. Maybe.
Because of the end of stage 2?
Or he's going to go down there and find something in the bottom and take off, drive off.
But very similar to what we saw when Denny Hamlin lost second place to Kyle Larson. He's running a lane or 2 down through 1 and 2, and allowing those guys to get a big run off the top and get a run into the next corner like they are right here in turns 3 and 4.
Starting to see a lot more cars running right on the fence.
So watch Denny here if he doesn't run the top. See how he goes down a little bit lower. Now Truex doesn't run as high, but he's still going to get a pretty good run. Maybe not as big of a run as we saw Larson get on Denny Hamlin. Something about Denny's car not allowing him to run that higher lane.
Well, in 1 and 2 last year, we found some grip down there just above that bottom seam. Seemed like you could find some juice down there. And then right in the middle of the racetrack, almost just putting your right sides below that seam on the second seam in 1 and 2 as well. 3 and 4, you better be right on the boards.
87 laps to go as night descends on Homestead Miami Speedway, and William Byron continues to hold on to the lead. .82 laps to go in the Dixie Vodka 400 on Fox. And William Byron is legging it out. He's opened up his lead to a 2.5 seconds over Kyle Larson. Now, some drivers that were a big part of this show earlier have fallen out of the top 20, beginning with our stage 1 winner, Chris Buescher. He and Matt DiBenedetto back there 22nd and 23rd. And Joey Logano, who started on the front row back in 25th, right behind Chase Elliott.
Begging for a caution. Begging
for tires. Grip. Give me some grip.
Now, Austin Dillon has been solid all day. Currently in 9th place. Tyler Reddick foundered earlier running the top groove, but now he's climbed into the top 10.
Well, let's go talk to a guy that has some impact on this, the VP of competition, Andy Petrie, down in the box on pit road. Hey, Andy Petrie, Jeff up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you, Jeff. What's up?
Well, man, I'll tell you what, those RCR Chevys are. Look like you guys maybe struggled with Reddick a little bit early. Made some good pit calls, some adjustments, and, man, it's time to go. Those boys are coming to the front. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, the 3 car's been pretty good the whole race, but, Tyler has really struggled from the start, and it's quite frustrating, because obviously this is his best track, and just kind of got off on the adjustment, went the wrong way to start with. Then we undid that and started going the right way, and I really think the sun going behind the clouds, starting to get a little shade on the track, has really paid off. I think it's working in his favor.
Yeah, we're watching right. Oh, big move by the 3 right now down the back straightaway. But we've been watching Tyler Reddick. It just seemed like that top groove that he runs so well has not really been the preferred lane. All of a sudden, the sun's going down. I thought it was going to be the opposite. It was going to be daytime where the top came in. Now we're starting to see the top come in during the nighttime as that sun sets.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed that that's what happens, because that's really where, Tyler is the best. When he can get up there, within just a little bit of that wall, he can do some things other drivers can't. So we just got to keep up with the, with the adjustments, and the 3 car's good too. So we're optimistic.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of the race.
Yeah, thank you.
RCR with 2 of the 5 Chevys currently in the top 10. Martin Truex up to 2nd, splitting the Chevys of Byron and Larson. Now back at 14th, Kyle Busch has had a rough day. Starting out, he said the car was not behaving as it did in the sim, and things did not get any better. But here he's in the right around the top 15 right now. And Ryan Blaney, one of those cars that pitted with Martin Truex, pitted out of the top 10, but has not been able to advance more than a couple of spots since the restart.
Got a little help getting in there. 42 car, you can see him pushing down the front straightaway. One of the things that you got to do is get off of their bump before they get in. You saw how loose Ryan Blaney got.
Ross Chastain trying to jump up in front of the 12 of Ryan Blaney.
Pick a lane.
Not twice about it.
Let's move up to 7th place. Cole Custer having a quiet but a very competent day in 7th place, Regan.
Well, Mike, that's much like his entire season. It's been quiet, but he spent almost all these races inside the top 10. That race car, he needs it freed up a little bit right now. That means the front's not turning that great for him. But what an impressive run for the driver in his 2nd year. He said that there is much less wow factor for him now this year than what there was last year racing with these Cup guys that he's always looked up to.
So Custer in 7th, and here's Michael McDowell, the Daytona 500 winner, trying to keep his string of top 10s at the start of this season going. One of only 4 drivers that can say that. Regan?
Michael McDowell, one of the things he likes the best about his race car is the fact that the front end works better than what he's had here in the past. Right now, that car, though, is extremely line dependent when he goes up to the top, and it's too loose up on top.
Oh. Now here's last week's winner, surprise winner on the Daytona Road Course, Christopher Bell, another one of those rim riders, but he's had trouble breaking out of the second 20.
Well, he's somebody that ran so well at this track in the top 10 last week. Regan, tell us what's going on, or last year, tell us what's going on with Christopher Bell.
Well, Jeff, 2 stops ago, they came in, made a long stop, didn't change tires. They waited until the stage break to change tires, so they did save a set. They were hoping, much like their teammate Martin Truex Jr., they'd be able to work their way to the front. Not so today. They just can't get the handling on this car to his liking.
Yeah, he finished 8th here last year for Levine Family Racing.
And you know, the only one that's really made these tires work, Clint, is the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. I thought Harvick had come in and got to. He actually was one of those that stayed out. So you got to go all the way back to McDowell in 9th, really, before you see the next guy with fresh tires.
72 laps to go. Today is the most laps William Byron has ever led in one race on a 1.5 mile speedway.
Some cars.
Oh, hard crash.
Wow, what a race. What a finish.
Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway, where Ryan Blaney has made contact with Eric Almirola and quite a bit of damage to both cars.
Now here's Eric Almirola trying to sort of do a bit of a slide job there, Clint, on the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. He comes up, but Ryan has too big of a run, and the 10 just can't stop the momentum. Comes up, gets in the left front of the 12 of Blaney, turns him into the wall. Big damage to both of these race cars.
One fast, gotta take it down.
Yeah.
Right on you.
I just really think Almirola just thought maybe he was going to cut him a break or something, but
yeah,
the spot just wasn't there.
Yeah, no, clearly he was up to his wheel.
Now the caution did not come out immediately for the crash. It came out 1.5 laps later for debris from that contact. Here's pit road, Regan.
The 19 car Martin Truex Jr. has worked his way all the way back up to second position. That race car right now needs more grip off of the exit of the corner. He just doesn't want to give up anything on the entry to get that. Jamie.
William Byron's led 44 laps already. They asked him if he needs anything. He said, I feel pretty awesome. His car has been great. Just 4 tires for him. The 5, his teammate Kyle Larson says he's just not good on the long runs. They're too loose. And the 1 of Kurt Busch, a little tight on entry, overdriving turn 3. He said it's another 4-tire stop.
Kyle Larson was racing hard out of his pit.
Here we go.
Picks up 2 spots. Under caution for Blaney and Almirola with 66 laps to go in Homestead. Working caution with 64 to go for Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola, who are now both 1 lap down but still on track. Denny Hamlin, too fast entering pit road. So he will restart in the back where he started today's race, in the back. So it'll be a lap or 2 before we get restarted as some more speedy dry is down. So let's take a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Well, Mike, here's William Byron in the 24 car. They made a change at Hendrick Motorsports with the crew chief bringing in Rudy Fugle. Past history between William Byron and Rudy Fugle, winning a truck race here back in 2016. He's led a bunch of laps here today, but now he's only looking to lead 1 lap, this final one here today, to win.
Yeah, Jeff, Kurt Busch may just be 1 or 2 adjustments away from being able to win this thing, but he has been in the top 5 all day long, and that pit crew has been on fire. Can he get his first win here in 21 years?
Fellas. No. Look no further than my man Kyle Larson. He's up front. He's leading this race. 9 times he's been a bridesmaid on a 1.5 mile track. It happens here tonight. Kyle Larson.
Well, Clint, that's a great pick, but Martin Truex Jr. just went from 18th to 2nd in that last run with only a 1/2 lap fresher tires. I think for sure he's going to be the guy that gets it done in a little bit.
Kevin Harvick won here in 2014. He leads all drivers in top 5s, top 10s, and average finish here. At the end of this race, we're going to be saying, where did he come from? And those are your Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Track changed everything. This is what we love about a track like Homestead, the old surface. These guys are high, wide, and handsome. They're running the outside. It seems like as this place cools off, it just keeps getting better and better and better up there, Jeff.
Well, pit road, too, is changing a lot of things. Now is that time where you have to execute every restart, every pass, and every pit stop perfectly.
Let's have a look at our progressive race summary.
That's
with
a
63
beautiful
to go.
fireball right there in the sky.
Kyle Larson, the most recent of 9 leaders, 18 lead changes. Still 28 cars on the lead lap. 6 caution flags. Garrett Smithley just got that free pass. Busher and Byron, the 2 stage winners here so far. 44 laps complete of 107 in the final stage right now. Coming around to the choose zone, that V painted in the track just past start finish, where each driver gets the opportunity to pick a lane, and Larson will take the inside.
I tell you what, Jeff, I really like this 19 here. It's like I was looking at the side of this thing. It's exactly like looking at your phone with those big letters and everything. You can see it.
Oh,
and everything shows up, that bold print, huh?
I can't wait for you to get older, man.
It's your car. It's built for you.
That is definitely something I could see.
Next Sunday, the best season ever continues. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Las Vegas. It all starts with race day at 2 Eastern on FS1. Then switch over to Fox for our full pre-race coverage and the green flag at 3 Eastern. Or catch it all on the Fox Sports app. You do have the app, don't you? Does that app come in large print?
God, I hope so.
Me too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Me too.
Jeff, is it time for this second row to start thinking about peaks to the inside, the 3 wides? Everything's been pretty cordial right now. Now are we getting to the point where you're going to start seeing some of this?
I think as the track cools down, track position gets more and more important. So I think you have to take advantage. As we get down to the end of this race, you got to take more risk, right? Risk versus gain. And I think now is starting to get, I mean, not quite yet, but you never know how many more of these restarts you have coming. So yes, start making those big moves.
All right, they'll restart in 1 lap. Jamie?
Well, 61 laps to go. A lot of chatter on the radio about fuel situations. This is what the 24 William Byron's team is thinking.
We're running the whole way out. Close to making it on fuel, so there's a possibility of running the whole way out.
Boy, that makes some tough decisions, right? Because you want to run hard, you want to try to make as many passes on these restarts, but then they're going to ask you to try to conserve fuel at the same time.
Those two don't go together. You want me to save or race? One or the other.
Honestly, with going back racing with 60 to go, the way this pace slows off, based on my fuel numbers, everybody should be able to make it to the end on fuel.
We're going racing, Jeff. Larry said we can go.
All right.
28 cars on the lead lap. The question for me is how many of those 27 positions can Denny Hamlin make up? Because he's starting 28th.
Well, we've seen him come from the back to the front once already today, but it did take a long way.
And it gets harder at the end. You got to remember, if your car is set up and you're, have good balance on your car, it's a lot easier. As every team gets an opportunity to adjust on their cars, that window of opportunity gets a lot.
Yeah, and they've made those adjustments.
Oh, yeah,
now.
Certainly closes up a lot.
Pace car is in. Toyota Chevy on the front row.
Kurt Busch, I got a little nervous. Him and Cole Custer almost made contact.
Byron dives to the bottom on Harvick, and here comes Keselowski around the outside.
And the 5 of Larson just can't complete this pass on Mark Truex Jr.
There's William Byron to the bottom right there.
Man, he made up a lot of spots. That car's so good on the short runs.
Kurt Busch fell back to 8th, but he's pounding up the outside right up against the wall. Look at this battle for the lead.
And I like how that car hugs that bottom. That's so hard to do in 3 and 4. This baby's going to the front right here with a 2-4.
So teammate Kyle Larson trying to give a little help to the 24 William Byron to take the lead. I mean, if I'm Truex, I'm just going to stay real patient right here. My car's really good in the long runs. Yeah, the 24 is really good. The 5's good. But I still think that 19 on the longer runs might have a slight edge if he doesn't use up too much of it right here.
Well, I think if you're Truex, you didn't have a choice right there. That 24 car was strong, going to the front. Probably a little bit angry over that pit stop hiccup. They just made up for it.
Hamlin from the back, +4, but in heavy traffic. Slow going the back there.
It's going to be tough to make up all those spots at this point in the race. 57 to go. That's one way you do it, though. Yep. Just go where they're not.
Go where they're not. That's exactly right.
Anthony Alfredo and 24 changes.
And
now
Chris Buescher, man, so bummed to see him still not able to get back to the front.
Dumbfounded, really. I can't believe that car's just flipped a switch.
And how about Cole Custer in 4th ahead of his teammate?
I like Kurt Busch going 3 wide through the middle.
Well, that's the Kurt Busch we know.
But you saw the 2 car completely sideways right there. Just going back to exactly what you said, top of the race, he was on point, fastest car on the track. Now mired back in traffic, sideways.
Yeah, this is a great battle between these two guys. Keselowski, big slide in the corner.
But you see he missed right there. Missed that bottom. That's the line that I was talking about. Missed. Well, he's got his hands full.
I thought they were going to make contact.
As soon as you miss, your front end takes off. You lose all your momentum. Got to bail out of the gas. You're in trouble, and that's what you saw right there.
Kurt Busch's car owner, Chip Ganassi, is not here this weekend, not allowed to be in the pit area at the racetrack by NASCAR for something that happened last weekend. But he tweeted, happy birthday to his hero and mentor, Mario Andretti, today.
Oh, happy birthday. The man, Mario Andretti.
He is the man. One of the coolest things, Mike, we got to do, Jeff and I stood in that broadcast for the iRacing with Mario on it. It was awesome.
That was great.
Such a cool guy. Hero status.
Bucket list moment for me.
He turns 81 today. Happy birthday. You know, Daniel Suarez led a bit earlier, late in the cycle of green flag pit stops. Here he is at 16th place, Regan.
Well, Mike, it's been a battle all day for these guys. We saw that early damage that they've got, but this goes exactly in line with what Daniel told me earlier this morning. He said crew chief Travis Mack is one of the calmest crew chiefs he has ever had on the pit box. It keeps him calm and confident inside the car. Most drivers, you get damaged, you melt down for the rest of the day, but not this team. They've had a solid rebound.
Good run for Suarez. Chase Elliott trying to work his way back toward the front. Jamie?
Yeah, where's Chase Elliott, right? He's been back there mired. He's in 14th right now. He's been 14th to 18th. Many had him winning this race today. He finished second last year, but simply the car just hasn't been to his liking. Cannot drive into turn 3 to save my life is what he said earlier. So he's just not happy as many adjustments as they made on it.
I would literally run out of ink if I had to write down everything that shocked me today.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing what this race has thrown to us.
Well, Kurt Busch restarted 4th, fell back to 8th. He's made it all back up. He's back up to 4th, and here's Kyle Larson picking 2nd from Truex.
Well, I think all of us talked about Larson's chances coming in here at Homestead, one of his best racetracks. He loves this place, but it's not necessarily been the kind of day I was expecting for Larson. But right now, when it counts, 50 laps, 52 to go, all of a sudden we're seeing him get right where we thought he would be.
And Michael McDowell, his dream season continues. A win at Daytona in the 500, top 10 on the road course. And here he is, top 10 again.
I'm super impressed with this run by Michael McDowell.
And look who's filling up his review mirror.
Never count this guy out. Never count out champion Kyle Busch. He can complain about his car all day long and then all of a sudden win the race or come to top 5.
If he's complaining, there's one thing that's still a constant. It's moving forward. I can promise you that.
Well, this is only the 10th lap of this race that Kyle Busch has been in the top 10.
If you guys are trying to count Kyle Busch out, I'm not buying in, Mike. It would not happen. He will be there.
Regan?
Well, Ben Bishore has been making some great adjustments to that race car. Last pit stop, finally Kyle came on the radio, calm and coolly, and said, okay, it's just a little bit tight entry to where I get onto the gas pedal right now, but we are making gains. I asked Ben earlier in the day, I said, what do you do when somebody like Kyle gets frustrated? He said, I don't care if he gets frustrated with me, because ultimately I know he's out there giving it everything he's got every second of the race. Well, he definitely got a earful earlier.
Good point. Yeah, what Regan tell us? He was going to make radioactive for the next 3 weeks just on today alone. Now, older brother Kurt is in the top 5, but does he have an issue?
I'm just blown through the tires and we got a loose wheel. It's just already vibrating because I'm overdriving it. What do you guys think about your tires?
If the vibration gets worse, bring it to us.
Well, I mean, that's the standard, right? If the vibration gets worse, you know that you got a loose wheel. My question is, you heard him, Kurt, say, hey, look at your video. They can go back and look at the pit stop and know whether they possibly left one lug nut a little bit loose.
We was talking about surprises. Now look at this Cole Custer. We're talking 4th place Cole Custer. For the first part of this race, he was nowhere to be seen. Holding a pretty wheel, my man, Cole Custer.
47 laps to go. Larry, is it too early to look at the trends?
No, it's not. Not at Homestead Miami Speedway, Mike, because looking back at the last 10 Homestead races, the last caution was right about now, lap 220 with 47 laps to go. But 3 times in the final 10 laps, and we did have an overtime finish back in 2016.
Larry, you look way better than Mike. Like your cartoon character.
Yeah, but I'm like you. I got 4 chins.
Man, I know. We got to work on that. Where's the artist at?
You got a little more hair there.
I need to tip him a little bit, have him make me look like a superhero a little bit, huh?
Yeah, that was Lex Luthor.
Who the hell's Luthor?
Come on, Larry.
Got to get your head out of the computer every now and then. Working on all these sim data and all that. Get in the movie theater, bud.
Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, both up front early, now racing for 21st. Still 28 cars on the lead lap. And Ryan Blaney in the free pass position. This has been the best battle on the racetrack for about the last 10 or 12 laps. 7th place, Michael McDowell trying to hold off Brad Keselowski.
If you're Michael McDowell, you won the Daytona 500, you want to prove that was no fluke, and he's proven it here today. I mean, we expect him to run pretty good on the road course last week. He put a decent finish together, but I didn't expect this. This is definitely raising the bar for this race team.
45 laps to go. William Byron in command as we take you Fox side by side.
A brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck when it's tough enough to have best-in-class available payload and smart enough to know that a cab can also be an office. A truck equipped with best-in-class available towing that asks, why can't all that power more than just this truck? No, your brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck when it's the all-new F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
I'm going to open 2 beers. Okay. You tell me what sounds more refreshing. This one or this one?
Bush. Agreed. The second one.
That's 2 for Bush.
Explore from anywhere. Work from anywhere. Recharge from anywhere. Anywhere is possible when your vehicle is serviced with Jiffy Lube. Your skilled technicians are here to help keep you and your vehicle moving forward. Anywhere is possible with Jiffy Lube.
Your all-access pass to stream all things CPAC is with Fox Nation. We're bringing the action from Florida right to you. With the future of the conservative movement and the Republican agenda more important than ever. See the biggest speeches, including critical addresses from your Fox favorites. Plus, Tommy Lahren and Lawrence Jones recap every moment live from Orlando. Enter promo code CPAC to get your 30-day free trial of Fox Nation and be part of the action. America is streaming all things CPAC right now on Fox Nation. Sign up today.
Get up, get moving, and gradually reduce grays the easiest way. Just step into the shower with Control GX, the first and only shampoo that blends away a little gray with every wash for a subtle, natural look. Control GX from Just for Men.
The leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan, has the opportunity to face Roman Reigns at Fastlane for the Universal Championship if he can defeat Roman Reigns' cousin Jey Uso in a brutal steel cage match. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown live at 8 Eastern on Fox.
I am a driver with a dream. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
41 laps to go at Homestead Miami Speedway. William Byron with a 2-second lead on teammate Kyle Larson, then Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, and Cole Custer. Kurt Busch, who had a vibration, has radioed in that he will pit.
And what a shame, because he's one of the fastest race cars on the track right now. He's been running down. You see Martin Truex Jr. ahead of him, then Kyle Larson a little bit further up, and then there's your leader in the distance, William Byron. But Clint, we were talking about this during the break, and here he comes to pit road for Kurt Busch. Just follow him as he enters pit road. What a shame to have that loose wheel. Obviously that vibration got loose, or it was getting worse.
Terrible timing right here at the end of the race. There's nothing you're going to do about it. Hard to make that up.
Jamie?
Crew Chief Matt McCall on the wall right now. Kerr was trying to hang on to it, but he just said, I'm at the point, guys. I don't like it. It's getting worse. So they told him to come on in.
So as we go back up front here to our leader, William Byron, in the 24 car, we're looking at the 5 car of Kyle Larson. He's been so good at this racetrack, and when he's good here, he's right up on the fence. Clint, we're not seeing that. He's running a little bit lower line.
Yeah, definitely running a little bit different line that I'm not really used to, and honestly don't really like it. The thing that I did like right there is that 24 car, the leader, William Byron, got held up in lap traffic right there. That is Kyle Larson's opportunity to make up some ground. Now, that being said, he's going to have the same troubles when he catches them. But Kyle Larson, when I think of Kyle Larson, I think of somebody that can run that outside line better than most.
And so
if that line opens up and gives him an opportunity, I feel like he can catch that 24. What he does with him when he gets there, that's a different story.
Well, we've seen his car work a little bit better lower than we've seen in the past. And I'm just wondering, is there something about the balance of that 5 car for Kyle Larson that doesn't want, he just doesn't lend himself to want to go right up and be an inch off the wall.
So when I used to look at SMT data, which, Mike, we did all the time, you got somebody like Kyle that stands out at a track like this of running on that fence like we're talking about. All right, what are we going to do? How is he doing this? So I really, really looked into it a lot. What I did see is typically he was tight, really tight with the steering and his setup on the race car. So exactly opposite of what you just said, in my opinion, of maybe what he's going on. It might be a little bit loose and reluctant to get up there because we all know the consequences.
Now, how about Martin Truex? He is 3rd, but as you see on our dynamic interval, there he is at 3rd place, 3 seconds back. Leading our Toyota top performers with Kyle Busch in 9th, Denny Hamlin up to 16th after restarting 28th. Bubba Wallace 21st, Christopher Bell 22nd. Truex losing a bit of ground to the leaders. Oh, maybe a 1/10 of a second a lap here. What can they do?
Yeah, I mean, just you got to search around. You got to really get through lap traffic. I mean, right now, his first goal is he's got to get to 2nd before he can even track down the 24 of William Byron. But it's just really, trying to search, find that place where you can pick up the throttle and get that momentum off the top lane to get the speed down the straightaway.
The other thing is very funny to hear you say that, Mike. Right before we talked about the conversation with Larson, we were looking at Martin Truex catching Larson quite a bit a lap. He was a lot faster. That forced Larson to change his line, moved up, took Martin's line, got that error off of him, found what he was doing, and drove off of him for a little bit.
And believe it or not, Clint, when that happened, not only did we see Martin Truex Jr. starting to lose a bit of time to our leader, we saw Kyle Larson start to gain a little bit more.
Learned a little bit of what he saw in the mirror, put it to good use.
7th, 8th, and 9th here, Keselowski, Bowman, and Newman. This group about 10 seconds off the lead. And we hear from pit road the left front wheel was not tight on Kurt Busch's car. So coming in was the right move.
Right move. And you think about it, right? That jack goes down on the left side, and that's what the speed of the stop all comes from that jackman trying to drop that jack as quickly as possible. And a lot of times you'll miss, sometimes you'll miss one lug nut right at the end, maybe 2 lug nuts as they drop that left side.
You didn't have to tell me it was loose either. It's such a costly thing. You don't want to pit. Trust me, you absolutely don't want to pit. You know the repercussions of that as a race car driver, but you also know when that baby gets to shaking, it's your butt that's going to hit the wall in it.
So Kurt is a lap down, but he's in the free pass position. Tyler Reddick caught that group racing for 7th and made a pass on Newman up into the top 9.
Now, we talked about Larson running the high lane. Tyler Reddick's one of those guys, but he's making it work right now. He is inches off of the wall.
Well, it's a commitment, right? You got to be up there. We said it. There's running a top, and then there's running a top. And when you're right up on there on that fence, talking about that air bubble like we were talking earlier, that's a commitment that you have to make. But if you get in a wall, the other side of it is you're done for the day. You're going to the pits to fix the damage.
Now we saw right there, he didn't run the wall. The time before that, they come through there, and you couldn't have put a sheet of paper between him and the wall.
Couldn't get up there that time because of Cody Ware's lap car in the top groove. Harvick and Custer, teammates. Clint, you were on this team. How hard is it to battle teammates when somebody's got the exact same stuff that you do, more or less?
Well, it's always hard to battle a teammate, right? When you guys are going for a position deep into a race like this, where the money's on the line, starting to see some cars pitting here. But as you see that and you're going through that, it's very difficult. You try to be as respectful as possible, but at the end of the day, he's got the spots you want.
What Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano are doing, they got to try something. They're splitting this stage in half. That's what they're doing, 30 and 30.
And Larry, now my question is that going to draw anybody else on the pit road? And if enough people come down pit road, our leader's going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, you know, they're looking at analytics, Jeff, and they know what this is going to do for them. Again, they were so far back, they knew if they just tried to run this run out, that their only hope is to try something out of the box.
How about our leader, Jamie?
Well, Jeff, you mentioned him, Rudy Fugle right there. Just to give you a little background, he was the man in the truck series, worked at Kyle Busch Motorsports for 8 years, won the championship with Christopher Bell and Eric Jones, won 7 times with William Byron. Well, this year, they gave him a promotion. He skipped the Xfinity Series, and now he's sitting on the pit box, just his 3rd race. It's a steep learning curve, but Jeff, he's really been fitting in well with the other crew chiefs. And look at the performance of their race car leading this race right now.
Been very impressed with the job Rudy Fugle has done coming into Hendrick Motorsports.
Now, let's check in on Michael McDowell, currently 6th, talking about fuel mileage.
Right now we are 1 gallon to the good, 1 gallon to the good. Long way to go. Take care of your stuff. Pulling away from the guys out back.
Whole gallon.
Whole gallon.
Yeah. I can do a lot with a gallon.
Use her up. I mean, back to Larry's point he talked about earlier. Once you get to this stage, you've lost 2.5 seconds a lap because the tires falling off. You're not using that gas. You cannot get to the throttle as hard as you'd like to on the exit of these corners.
It brings up a bad memory. I think it was here. He told me to save. Boy, I was saving more. Save more, save more. Well, I saved, and we made it to the end. But everybody that pitted beat me. Oh, no. Happened. Believe it.
Now, Jeff, back to your question to me about drawing others. If they've not come now, they don't plan on coming. They're not coming.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Larry. As soon as I said that and I saw that not many others were coming, they're on their own island right now.
Tyler Reddick has made it up to 7th. He's about 2 seconds behind Michael McDowell, but car length in front of Alex Bowman, and a full second ahead of Ryan Newman in 9th.
I'll tell you what, caution comes out here. This race again would get a whole flip-flop and change because of a guy like Tyler Reddick really starting to come on.
It's 2 weeks in a row. That race last week on a road course, completely different racing, just kept flip-flopping with those cautions coming out. That late caution at the end with the rain. Boy, what a difference maker that was.
Second place closing up. They are now 4 seconds behind William Byron. But Truex is coming.
He is. This car looks good. This is one of those cars that just keeps getting better and better on the long runs. Talking about Mark Truex Jr.
And if he's going to have a chance, he's got to make quick work of the 5 car. He's going to have to get around him pretty fast. That's hard to do. That outside line as these tires wear out, that is the preferred line. Trying to make this track as big as possible, not pulling on that wheel.
And you can see right there, Clint, it's not going to get done on the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Now let's go down here to 3 and 4. See Kyle Larson starting to gravitate a little bit more towards the top. It's still not against the wall, but you saw that last time by. Mark Truex Jr. ran a little bit lower and was able to gain on the 5. Not that time, though.
Well, it's going to have to happen on the bottom, but it shows you how difficult that is. Either corner, either end. You kind of have to get regrouped. He's going to go up here, get himself reestablished, get back to him, get to the bumper. Maybe the 5 car slips up a little bit, give you that another opportunity, and you got to take it.
And you could see where I think Kyle Larson is looking in his mirror a lot, listening to the spotter a lot right now, because every time Mark Truex Jr. gets close to him, he just starts running his lane. And as you talked about, blocking the air, getting to the 19 car.
Well, for sure, it's all about that block. You got to do that. And that being said, that's why I'm saying he's got to figure out the bottom, because I promise you, he is not going to pass the 5 ball on the outside.
Larson's done a good job of minding the gap to Martin Truex. Harvick up to 4th now. Custer 5th, and McDowell has fallen back to 6th, perhaps in fuel-saving mode.
And you just got to give this guy, Kevin Harvick, and Cole Custer also, but Harvick, I mean, the guy is such a champ, and he's always there at the end of the day. You just never count him out. Reminds me so much of Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was one of those guys that you could put him a lap down, and by the end of the race, he was in the top 5.
Now, Brad just blasted past him. Brad is 1 lap down on fresh tires, as is Joey Logano. They're going fast, but they're not on the lead lap.
There's 4 fresh feel goods right there. Yep. He gone.
You know, riding with Kevin Harvick in this 4 car, one thing that has been money today has been that pit crew. Their slowest stop out of 6 stops, 13.2. 3 stops in the 12-second bracket.
Wow. He recognized that, too. And that one of the pit stops, he told him, you boys are keeping us in it.
Well,
Speaking of keeping them in it,
quality teams do, right?
How about this 24 car, Jeff, huh? This is the 24 I had to race my whole career right here.
Well, I must say, you know, it's pretty cool standing up here and seeing those rainbow colors on that 24 car and seeing it out front. That's a cool sight to see.
Has to be.
3 leaders, all within about 0.2 of a second on this last lap. Harvick and Custer just about 1/10 off of them. And then Reddick and McDowell a few tenths further back.
There's Reddick up on the wall.
Yep.
Tell you what, he's laying down some fast laps right now.
That's exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. Laying really fast lap times now. Slide job here. Woohoo! Still sliding. It was a literal slide job.
Wonder what he learned last night in the finish of that Xfinity race. Nice job by Myatt Snyder on the final restart to win his first career victory in the Xfinity Series, and Reddick was the man he had to beat.
We've had this debate so many times about running those Saturday races. What kind of advantage does it give you? I've actually seen sometimes it be a disadvantage. Sometimes those cars drive different enough that you fool yourself. Talk to your crew chief, call your crew chief, hey man, here's what we got to do to our car on Sunday, and they can actually get you behind. But boy, whatever adjustments they've made and the adjustments that Tyler Reddick's made, he's the fastest car on the track now.
What you're seeing right there is where I think it's nothing but a good thing. It takes practice. You got to be precise, and you got to be on your march to run that close to the wall. And he had a lot of experience and practice doing that yesterday. These other guys didn't, by the way.
Hey, Mike and Jeff and Clint, this is no disrespect to anybody, but if we'd have been having a beer before the season started and I said your first 3 winners are going to be Michael McDowell, Christopher Bell, and potentially William Byron, you would have responded to me with?
I would have bet the bank against that. Yes, I would have gone broke betting you on that one, Larry.
Larry, we would have taken expert away from analyst in your job title if you come up with that one, I'm afraid.
Tell you what, if you were right, I'm taking you to the gambling hall. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, next week Follow Larry around Las Vegas.
Boy, you're right, though. Just the lines that these guys are running. It's the time. We talked about the commitment of running this outside, Jeff. It's time to go. You know, you don't want to do that early in a race because why? You're worried about tearing up your car. Now the juice is worth the squeeze. You got to get up there and you got to put put it to good use.
Yeah,
Bay window is open.
There's no holding back now. Now it's just risk. Put all the risk you got to put out there because you got to get it done.
16 to go. Still 25 cars on the lead lap. Back to Anthony Alfredo. Keselowski in the free pass spot as they battle for 13th here.
Wait. Daniel Suarez getting a front row shot of this battle and ahead of him. These two guys just keep doing the crossover, swapping back and forth. Hats off to Daniel Suarez and this race team. This is a great run for these guys. I mean, this is a tough racetrack. Hey, there's Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. Look the equipment that he's in. No RCR cars had a good day. 3 cars fast, the 8 cars up here when the money's on the line. Now the 99. Seemed like they got a good program over there.
Oh man, here comes Reddick. Talked about that RCR Chevrolet. That baby is flying right now.
He learned something last night, and that is, boy, that top groove will work for you late in the evening here.
Guys, he was like 0.3 of a lap faster that last time by.
Early in this race, Tyler Reddick was in serious danger of being lapped. He was running up by the wall, but he wasn't going anywhere.
He is now, but it's that, the track came to him. Yeah. Is exactly what happened. Yeah. And we've been covering it all night long. I mean, as this has transitioned in tonight, the difference that it's made in some of these teams and the obstacles that they've had in front of them, the adjustments they've made.
Just coming a little bit too late if he doesn't get a caution here, unfortunately.
13 to go. Almirola in front of him, a lap down after the collision with Blaney. Eric Jones has had a rough day, already a lap down, and now making a late pit stop with 12 to go. I believe he has a right rear down.
I think he's been in the wall.
That last time by, and I know maybe our leader was in a little bit of traffic, but Tyler Reddick was a half a second faster than our leaders. That's a ton. I mean, I know he can't make up 9 seconds, but still, man, that's impressive.
He is 3 seconds back of Truex, the third place car. And we'll show you the gap. Byron up 5.5 on Larson.
This is that moment. You're coming to 10 to go. You're feeling every vibration. You're hearing everything inside that engine, inside that car.
And you know cars are running up high. You're looking at these cars that you're lapping. You know people are up there. You're like, please do not hit the wall. Everybody stay off the wall.
No cautions, please. No debris, no nothing. Larson's done a nice job holding Truex off. I really thought as Truex closed in on him,
Yeah,
that was going to be difficult to keep that 19 car as fast as he was behind him.
Shows you how hard it is and how much that air affects these cars. When he moved up, adjusted his line, took the air off of Martin Truex, he was done.
You saw cars with new tires scooting on past. Yes. Cody Ware.
Scooting on past.
Yeah, speaking of scooting on past.
Yeah, scooting on up. It's like, not there. 9 to go, and Reddick has chopped another second out of Byron's lead. At this rate, he's going to catch Truex before this is over. I remember very early in his career asking William Byron, whose dad's name is Bill, if he had a nickname. And he instantly shot back. He goes, no, do I need one? I go, well, no, I don't think so. Richard worked for Petty. David worked real well for Pearson. No, you don't need a nickname.
I've been watching Tyler Reddick make these laps, and I couldn't help but to think, I know these crew chiefs are watching it on the box. You know, old Larry, he's up there. Boyer, get up there. 8 cars going faster than you are. He's catching you half a second a lap. I watched the 19 car made that adjustment. I was being curious to see who would do that, if the 5, if the 19 would try it to make a run up to 24. Now you see the 19 really starting to, play with that outside line.
I'll be curious if Truex. Oh, look, state car, Reddick coming. I think Truex is looking up in his mirror. He sees the 8 coming. He's going to put a little more pressure and maybe get a little more aggressive here with the 5 of Larson. And, you got also, you want to be in position to, in case something happens, that 24 car to win if you're the 5 of Larson. But you also need some points. You need a solid point stay here.
They're going to be 3 cars under a blanket for second place here.
It's going to be interesting to see. So when you catch them, it's so important with the momentum to use it quick. You'll get stalled out very, very easy as he catches these guys battling it out right here. This could be an opportunity to get a 2 for 1.
I was getting a slide there.
Yeah, you saw Truex pull down, got really loose. Telling you what, to your point, Clint, I think Reddick's going to come up here and smoke right on by both these guys.
Forced him to make it. He made a change right there. Now he's tight. I would have looked for him to try that outside and get around him. I think he thought the 19 was going to block him. He never did. Lost all of his momentum that I was talking about right there. Now you got to recapture that, regather it up.
And he heated those tires up a bit with that slide.
Yeah.
Well, now, patience. He'll have 5 laps left to make this work.
Look at this big run coming off of turn 4.
You see Kyle, he's trying it right there. It looked to me like he was tight, like you were talking about, Jeff. Got tight, and as it started to catch up, 3/4 mark around the corner, the rear end came out from underneath of him. He was loose.
There goes the 8 of Reddick to the high side. This is where he's really strong, carries that momentum.
Getting sideways right there.
But you can see he doesn't want to do the crossover because his car is not that good low. He wants that top groove, hoping the 19 gives it to him, and he does.
You could just see the 5. He's able to carry so much more speed than the 5 can up there.
Truex could not get alongside Larson. That left room for Reddick, and here he comes.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be in there. He goes. Big slide.
That didn't work well.
I'm so shocked that he's not taking the top lane. He's going to lose that other position to the 19 of Truex, but I thought for sure he would go all the way to the top.
Well, I think he was thinking that the 5 was going to move up and block him. Now you see the 19 blocking. Now the momentum is over. They're not going to give him that chance again.
Yeah, Truex made one little slight mistake there by opening up the top. Not going to happen a second time. Good battle here, though. It's fun to watch. See how much Truex had to back up his entry? I just wonder if his car is pretty tight, too. He just could not carry a lot of speed into the corner.
Whoa! Big time loose right there.
Boy, it's like it got tight and then jumped sideways.
And that shows that's a perfect example of what we were talking about. It's an art form. It's hard to run that line. It takes a different style of driving. Your pickup points, your lifting, everything is different when you're doing that.
2 to go. Byron with a 4-second lead.
His crew chief saying, stay away from that wall.
Stay away from everything.
He couldn't have been further away from it right there.
Save me a bunch of fuel.
Tyler Reddick for second.
Slide job, engage.
Nope. Yeah, he made it happen.
White flag, 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Did you pick the 24?
I may have.
Chip shot.
23-year-old William Byron from Charlotte, North Carolina, came up through Legends cars. The East Series, the Truck Series, Xfinity, checkered flag. William Byron wins in Homestead, gets his second career win in his 111th start, and his team owner, Rick Hendrick, gets his 264th career win, 4 wins away from tying Petty Enterprises for the most ever.
How about that? Man, what a performance.
Showed up when the time was right, without a doubt.
Well, we started the season saying expect the unexpected.
Best season ever.
Boy, it's delivered. It has delivered.
But that's how we race. That's what we're going to get used to. Get used to winning, boys. Get used to it.
Some excitement right there. I believe that was Rudy Fugel, crew chief.
He's so passionate. I remember his wins in the Truck Series are always some of my favorites as crew chief. The passion that he had, the excitement was awesome.
And just the chemistry and the confidence that these two have in one another. Pretty special.
This kid even does burnouts well. See the order of finish on the left of your screen. 2 Chevys, Truex's Toyota, and Harvick. Another top 5 for Harvick. He's the first Ford. Harvick and McDowell continue their streak of top 10s to start the season, while Denny Hamlin does not. Self-inflicted penalty for too fast entering pit road. And Hamlin rebounded, but only to 11th at the checkered flag. Willie B is a NASCAR Cup Series winner for the 2nd time. Jamie Littles with our winner.
William Byron goes from 31st to 1st, leads 102 laps. William, what can you say about the performance of this race team and your crew chief, Rudy Fugel, who wins for the first time in only 3 races?
Yeah, I mean, that guy has been huge for my career. He's the reason I'm here, and, you know, I'm glad we could get him. And he's just awesome, and this whole team did a phenomenal job. Everybody, pit crew, over the wall, extremely blessed. Thanks God for all the things that it takes to get to this level. Great boss and Mr. H, Jeff Gordon, Exalta. His car looks really cool. So I can't even believe it, honestly. It was just a really smooth day, and we worked hard in the winter on this track, and can't believe it.
William, you told me this race was going to be won under the lights on the bottom of the racetrack. How much emphasis did you put on staying off the wall for this race?
Yeah, I mean, you had to go the wall at certain times. 3 and 4 was really fast up there. Definitely didn't do it as good as the Xfinity cars do it, but I used it when I had to, and this car was just awesome. It really is a lot of hard work. I think we went to the sim 4 or 5 times this offseason, and just pays off, man. It's awesome. This guy.
Congratulations, there he is. Rudy Fugel gets the high five from his driver, Regan.
Well, Tyler Reddick comes home in 2nd place. Tyler, we didn't talk about you a lot through the majority of the night, and then all of a sudden at the end, you're on the wall, just riding it as hard as you can up there. A great performance at the end.
Yeah, Regan, it was, you know, 2nd place is it's a good night considering how the first 2 weekends have went, but I need to get this Cheddar Scratch Kitchen Chevy to victory lane, because if I would have gotten a lot of people in America free chicken tenders on Monday night. But yeah, once I really saw how fast we were in clean air at the end there, and I saw how fast we were catching everybody, it's beyond frustrating. Just 2 or 3 different decisions on a restart would have put me miles ahead, and I would have been within reach. So yeah, 2nd's great, but I saw how much faster I was than those guys there at the end, so naturally it's frustrating.
Thanks, Tyler.
Byron, Reddick, Truex, Larson, Harvick, your top 5. William Byron, 3rd different winner in a row. That complicates the playoff picture, doesn't it? We'll be right back with more from Homestead. He even does nice burnouts. William Byron this week, Christopher Bell last week. And there's a nice tweet from Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
congratulating William.
I tell you what, I can't believe he's even tweeting about old NASCAR anymore after we saw you in that Indy-style fire suit. Oh, man, we've lost him, guys.
Hey, playoff picture. Look at the surprises we've had, and we're only 3 races in.
Wow, I mean, right, we talked about this. If you'd have told me that we were going to have Michael McDowell and Christopher Bell, William Byron be the first 3 winners, and if you start looking at the points and how this is going to impact those top 16 that lock themselves into the playoffs, man, we are off to one heck heck of a start to a season. And how cool is that? Your longtime heroes tweeting about a big win like that for William Byron. That's so cool.
Well, you said it, that faces in new places. But for me, it's the parity that I see all the way through. Front Row Motorsports, RCR having a big day. Roush, Joe Jack was leading laps today. I mean, there is a lot of things going on in this sport, and I love it, every bit of it. It's going to be a lot of fun to be able to go to some of these tracks, you know, going out west, Vegas, and Phoenix short track.
Like I said, it's Tyler Reddick's drive up through that top 10 into second place. Impressive.
Well, as for the third place finisher, here's Regan.
Well, Martin Truex Jr., a strong third-place run, the best of the JGR brigade tonight, just not quite enough at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I feel like that last run, for whatever reason, it didn't do what it done all day. You know, 24-5 got by us in that restart, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to, you know, take care of it here and hope that they come. This is going to be a really long run, and that's where we were strong all day, and it just never happened. You know, my balance got off there the last 40 laps or so, and the car wouldn't do what it did earlier, so. Yeah, so close. You know, the guys did a great job. It was a good, solid effort for our best Pro Shops Toyota Camry, and just proud of everybody for working hard, and it's definitely something we can build on.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you.
Martin Truex and Kyle Busch both got their first top 10 of the season tonight. As William Byron celebrates, we're going to load all this food up on the plane and head for Vegas. You'll hear from the Charlotte studio after this.
Welcome back to our Charlotte studios. Shannon Spake, Larry McReynolds, and Jamie McMurray. It's the best season ever. It's also the most unpredictable season ever. Congratulations to William Byron getting it done down there. Huge win for the 23-year-old.
Big for him. Third crew chief he's had in his short career. He picked Rudy Fugle, and what a way to show they picked the right guy to go out and win.
Yeah, and just some names that were in the top 5 and the top 10. Tyler Reddick, he was about to get lapped earlier, drives up there to finish second, a track that he loves. Kyle Larson in the top 3, and Michael McDowell, he just will not go away. Another top 10 finish for that 34 car.
I think one of you picked Chase Elliott to win. Of course, William Byron going out and getting it done for Hendrick Motorsports. So pretty good day.
Yeah. It was. Good day for him across the board.
Okay, well, congratulations to that 24 team. Up next on Fox is Cherry's Wild, except on the West Coast. And, of course, you can catch Race Hub tomorrow. These guys will be on it, and all next week at 6 Eastern on FS1. And next weekend from Vegas, Friday, we got the Camping World Truck Series coverage, which begins at 8 Eastern on FS1. Saturday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series coverage at 4, and Sunday the Cup race begins at 2 o'clock. We'll see you guys next week.
I am huge, a giant in every way. I am the sound of fury and the sweet smell of victory. I am the return of all the things you love about this amazing sport. Something that changes you from the very first lap. I am where seeing becomes believing, and believers know it is the return of a new season. I am NASCAR.